I welcome you all to our facilitation of principal math. And when I say principal math, of course, I don't expect any O-level student here, okay? Because it is at A-level where we have principal subjects and the subsidiary subjects. So when you see principal, just have it in mind that we are dealing with strictly A-level, that is senior 5 and senior 6. So if you know that you're doing sub math, please go off. Sub math is subsidiary. Why they call it principal math? It's because there is subsidiary math. Someone may be like, why don't they say principal chemistry? Because we don't have sub chemistry. They can't call it principal physics because we don't have sub physics. They can't call it principal biology because we don't have sub biology. But math is called principal math because there is sub math. So it's just there to bring about that difference. Hope now that has been clear. And I tried to also clear this when it reached the choice of a combination early this year. Okay, so we really pray that God guides us through this session because it's our first facilitation of its kind, and we are supposed to obtain strategies together. We are going to have our strategy, then we try testing it in some of those papers so that we have really an idea of how we are going to be moving very soon. Okay, so we are here basically for the facilitation, the paper structure and breakdown, how you can strategize, how questions are attempted, things like that. And then we shall have more stronger revision sessions, but when we are already aware, so that when I be like, we are going to just do all item 4s and 5s in all paper 1 papers, you really get the point. You know what I mean. You get the point? Okay, now, of course, it is Science Scholars Academy taking you through this, and Dr. Paul. Okay, so very first, we shall have the targets for the session. Okay, so this is like actually a seminar, but seminars that happen online are called webinars. So we shall have the webinar targets. Okay, we shall have the webinar targets. A webinar is an online seminar. Okay, and it's internal because it is within the scholars of the academy. So we really want a paper structure. Yeah, paper structure. Of course, we are going to make sure it is a very fruitful discussion. In that, I want us to talk about paper 1 and paper 2. Okay, that's what you should know. Paper 1 and paper 2, and then we shall have the strategies. Very important. Yeah. And when I say strategies, I mean a lot of things that really always disturb people in an exam. We have choice of questions, okay? We have time management, and then we have question approach. Basically those, and then of course we shall have the part of the ETC. Hope those who are trying to write something, or those who can write something, are doing the needful. Okay, so according to me, according to my own thinking, for me, I believe if at all someone knows the paper structure, how the paper looks like, and the student has the right choice of questions, and that student knows how best those questions are approached, and that student can really manage time well in an exam, then what is really required? Okay, maybe a part of the strategies I'll maybe put for you etc, where the other things come in, the confidence, the composure, and everything. Okay, so that you're really less prone to errors. Do you get that? Do you realize that if at all you can capture all that, you can really figure out a paper and see how best you can maximize points from it? So it's really a very good idea. So that's what we are going to concentrate on, and trust me, we are going to leave this place with the best strategy. So all country students, there are some students who are sending me requests of transcription. They are not going to be accepted. Don't waste your time. Okay? Just concentrate and listen to everything. you receive the recording afterwards. Okay, now okay, now let me try to ask this question. I'm going to pose a very simple question to you all, and I just need only one person to tell us. Those who have been following up assessment for the past years, who can tell me how was mathematics examined in the old curriculum? Because we really need to know. Who knows? Were they 3 papers? Were they 4 papers? Was it 1 paper? Did the math have a practical? Things like that. I want to really listen to that. Do I have anyone who is aware of how are the mathematics? Okay, someone was like, I cannot see the screen. Sorry. I was trying to bring our syllabus book because we need it in today's session. Okay, we need it in today's session. Now, since I have candidates here and I've overpromised my candidates to really have the best and be ready for the math paper. So we are going to really have a look at some of the outlines of this student-friendly syllabus book. So you're supposed to be very alert. When you get a chance, you take a screenshot. You get a chance, you take a screenshot for those topics you're really interested in. You're like, I really need to know. If at all this is an element of construct and I believe that I should really be knowing it, these are the things I should know in this. So those are the things we are going to be talking about this afternoon. Okay, so that we leave this place when we know what we are going to really be doing as we progress. Are we together? So we just need our syllabus book and the workbook, basically that. Yeah, nothing much. Then here in the middle, we just have the different papers. And then I'll give you a task of looking for other papers and try to confirm that they are up to standard. By standard, I mean the current standard that was delivered by UNEB and not NCDC. I don't know whether people are aware that those two bodies are different. Though they can, sometimes they really get together, sometimes they get misunderstandings, but that's none of students' business. Okay? But just have it in mind, UNEB is who examines you. So you're supposed to be more, you know, this thing of being in a family where the dad is very tough and the mom is kind of okay. So children always have that tendency of being more obedient to the father than the mother. So be more obedient to UNEB than NCDC. Because NCDC trains you, then UNEB examines you. So you're supposed to concentrate on who examines you because they can really determine your future. Are we together? So that is just a by the way, but take it serious. Now, very fast, I've not seen really people are contributing. I don't know why. But first things first, in the old curriculum, I gave you some of those things. The video is actually there on YouTube. You go and check it. A very good video. And candidates, all the candidates who really saw it passed. Those who saw it after UNEB, they were lamenting. They were like, Doctor, you're really a bad person. How can I really see this when I'm done with UNEB? This is totally unfair. Things like that. Let me try to show it to you here. So many people complained. And it is the same thing. I'm going to post this video after, and so many people will not see it. They will see it after UNEB and it's not making sense. Yet it will be having some good strategies that may help them here and there. Okay. So when I open, I want you to look here. There is a course that is called a facilitation folder. This one. Do you see that facilitation folder? It's actually the first one. I see they put their 8 lessons, but they are not 8. Let me try to close. Now, if you look critically here, there is a certain video. The last one, do you see it? It's having a senior 6. Okay, let me try to click it so that people can have a look at it very well. It's that one. You can see it's having a senior 6. That one. It's having a senior 6 pure math facilitation 2025 old curriculum. You can go and check on it. You can see it was watched by over 4,000 students 10 months ago. Yeah, just 10 months ago, before UNEB of 2025. And those who never looked at it, they really suffered. You can see those days we were very serious. For you students, you're just good at complaining. But those days in old curriculum, we used to study serious things. Do you see the time? We studied from 8 p.m. up to 5 a.m. in the morning. How many hours are those? Those who are good at math. You can calculate and tell me the time. But it is a lot of time. Just imagine you from 8 p.m. you go to midnight. From midnight you push up to 5. Those are some good hours. Okay? So some of you are always just good at complaining, but do you believe that at one point in time we studied for 9 hours and it was the whole of pure math? It was paper one by then. And you guys have the same paper, but in a different way. So this was some good years back. But those people who listen to it, do you see the target? The target was that by the end of the session, every student should be in position to handle 70% of any random math paper. And all students who listened got 70 as their minimum in UNEB, and they got the A's and B's. Those who got B's made error. Those who never made errors got A's. So it is the same session we are having, but in the new curriculum. And in the end, we shall see what the target is. But the best facilitation will be after UNEB has marked the first papers. Okay, that's always the trend. You cannot really give students a percentage if at all UNEB has not marked the first papers of the curriculum. Since it's a new curriculum, no papers have been marked. So these first ones are going to pass because they are known to blame. But the next ones, they will have to face it rough. That I'm giving you point blank words from experience. Okay. So these days students are not focused. You just teach for 4 hours, they shout. Those days, I remember there was a day we had a class of 13 hours, and I think it was organic chemistry. We pushed from alkanes up to carbonyl compounds, and we completed 80% of organic chemistry in one night. But these days people are lazy, and I also have to move with the trend of laziness. Okay, so that is it. So I will also want you guys to go and watch this. Why? The pure math of old curriculum is the paper one of new curriculum, but examined in a different way. The structure is different. The examination is different. That the other ones were direct questions. These are scenario based, but the content of the elements of construct, they are the same. They are the same. That's what I want to assure you. So it's not too long. It's not really too long. But if you get time, it's just, I think, about 5 hours. They aren't many. 5 hours. So when you watch it at the speed of times two, those are 2 hours. 2 hours. So can't you really spare 2 hours and look at the contents? Though whatever you're going to watch in that, if you're to watch, it is going to be said here. You're just having really a feeling of how those people felt then. Okay, so I think I've given you enough briefing about that. So it will be my reference in today's session. Don't be surprised when I tell you to visit that video as well. Now, without wasting a lot of time, I've been telling you that in the old curriculum, so you will allow me to write some of the things. In the old curriculum before the new one came in, we also had paper one. Remember, it was also principal math. It didn't change, or it doesn't have to change that the math wasn't a principal subject. It was okay. Though paper one had a nickname, and that nickname was pure math. Okay, and then also paper two had a nickname, and that name was applied math. I want you to see this. I want you to listen. Now, this applied math had 4 sections, had 4 of them. Okay, but you're going to see that they are the same things that are going to be in the in the new thing. It had 4 of them, and we are going to list all of them. Okay, and then the paper one for the old curriculum. Sorry, yeah, paper one of the old curriculum, or pure math. It also had how many? It also had 5, not 4. For it had 5 and not 4. So you listen carefully. This was for the old curriculum. I want you to realize that they are just modifications. so that people really get the energy of watching that old video. Okay, now that paper one, it had what we call trigonometry. I'm going to list them in the order of how easy they were. Okay, so trigonometry was the easiest. So when I say trigonometry, I mean a question was a must in section A and section B from trigonometry in pure math. I'm not going to go into the structures. I'm just going to list the topics because you also have them here. Then the next one was vectors. Remember, I've told you that I'm listing them in the order of the easiest to the hardest. I don't know whether people are getting, but I shouldn't say hardest. People may get demotivated. Maybe I should say to the most simplest to the least simplest. That's how I'm listing them. So trigonometry was the easiest in the old curriculum, followed by vectors. Then after vectors, we had algebra. Okay. Then after algebra, we had analysis. If at all I have a student here who can tell me the other name for analysis, I'm going to, I think I should give you a gift after this class. You tell me what is another name for analysis? I usually want to use that word analysis so that to confuse people. They are both principal maths 1 and 2 in new curricula. These are people who don't listen. Anyone who knows the other name for analysis? Anyone who knows the other name for analysis? Or I don't have any person. If I told you, now you guys are obsessed with AI. You're trying to check AI and it really can't help. It is telling you weird things. So it is analysis or calculus. Calculus is one word that really gives students hard time to write, but it is cal. You write cal. You first write cal. This is chu. Then las. Calculus. You understand? Just because for us we are Africans, we say calculus, but it's calculus. Okay? The way we say calculator. So calculator, calculus. Something like that. Then the other last one, those people are misbehaving. They're writing in my screen. You people, please try not to panic. You rest a bit. You rest a bit. Don't panic. Don't be on pressure. You're the people who are going to grow up and you get diagnosed with premature ejaculation. Because you can't be patient, you cannot wait and give things time and concentrate and listen to what they are telling you. Then the other one in paper one, it was geometry. Okay, now in geometry, that's where we had coordinate geometry 1 and coordinate geometry 2. Do you know what people in the old curriculum, in the new curriculum did? They said, let algebra stay as algebra. Let calculus or analysis stay like that. Then they got trigonometry and vectors and put them under geometry. Okay, so that's where things became serious. And that is the paper one of the new curriculum. So you realize it didn't change. My dear, it didn't change. It is the same. That's why that video is very key for paper one. But after watching this, you may not need it. Yeah, you may not. You may not. I'm just going to make sure that we really exhaust this. Okay? So you listen well. Then applied math, I've told you that it had 4 major ones, okay? And I'm also going to list them in the order of the what? The most simplest to the least simplest. Trigonometry 1, vectors 2, like that, 5. So you're going to realize that what is making the paper 1 math of a new curriculum a bit tricky is that geometry was made compulsory and it has the trig and vectors which are easy, but it has the coordinate geometry which doesn't play, especially coordinate geometry 2. The moment it doesn't find you sober enough, you can really find it hard. And it is very easy to lose a lot of marks since the paper is not out of 100. But I think with time they will try to adjust that. Anyway, I'm not sure, but I just pray. Okay. Now, this is it. This is it. Someone may be like, Doctor, what do you mean that? But I'm going to tell you that math. We're going to check on it, and you see what I mean. So let me also list this one the same way. So the applied math of old curriculum. The first one, which was the easiest. I've told you the topics never changed. Have that in mind. The math was just left the way it was because it is all easy. Why would you remove errors? Because every topic you want to remove, it looks easy, so it was really left. Okay, so the easiest in applied math then it was statistics. It was statistics. It was the easiest. But in the old curriculum, statistics, there were so many. But here you guys only concentrate on the descriptive ones. Yeah, you just concentrate on the descriptive statistics and you only look at one form of data. But the statistics of old curriculum were serious. They even involved other things like the price indices. You guys have not looked at all that. Yeah, but they were not so hard. Now, then too, now those things of scatter diagrams and correlations, those things, they were under statistics in the old curriculum, yeah? Then the other thing that was next simplest, it was the numerical concepts. Actually, paper 2 was really simplified. I really expect students to be getting 100% in paper 2 and then battling with paper 1. Okay? Numerical concepts. Someone may be like, but we see numerical concepts in a math 1. They can be called numerical concepts or numerical methods. Okay? Then at the third ones, it was probability. And then probability had a lot of divisions. Yeah, I think we shall also find time and try to talk about it. But I just want to do everything today. Yeah, it's going to really be a very big session, having a math 1 and math 2. And then we exhausted it all. That's what I want. Okay? Because there are two papers, they work hand in hand and they are cheap papers. So one session is enough for both. You plan for both, you pass both, you leave a level. Then the other fourth one was mechanics. So you people, do you want to tell me that these things are really different? They are not. Because what they did in new curriculum, they got statistics and probability, they put them under one thing, data analysis and probability, one element of construct. They got the numerical methods, they also put them under one. Then mechanics under one. And you should thank God, before mechanics topics were 18 in the old curriculum. But now you guys have only 6. You have only 5 actually. Yes, the major ones are 5, only 5, from 18 to 5, 13 topics off. And then you say that you're going to really fail this level. You're going to fail paper 2. Even after making the statistics really so cheap and also simplifying the mechanics. So paper 2 shouldn't actually be a problem. So actually this session is actually for paper 1. Paper 2, you're just here to pass time. So you realize that the papers have not actually changed. You're going to realize after me now telling you about the new papers that they have not actually changed from the old ones. Okay? So as you're watching actually those facilitations, I don't want you to go to the facilitation of mechanics of the old curriculum. You're going to see it here. Please don't go for it. That's why I tried my level best to label it as old curriculum. The mechanics of old curriculum is different from that of the new one. Don't even risk. We shall have a new one that will really benefit us. If you really want to have a look at maybe that of pure math, which is um which was modified to come up with paper 1 of the new curriculum. Let me hope that has made sense. So it is not really wise and it is not really good for us to talk about where we are going without knowing where we are coming from. So this is where we are coming from. So it's now time to talk about where exactly we are we are going. Now, the new papers. The new papers. Why I've really told you that these new papers are a bit risky, you're going to realize that, okay, whoever is here, have it in mind your papers are out of 60. I want you people to listen. Those who are not listening to me and those who don't want to listen to me. Remember, in the in the old curriculum, the paper was out of 100. Okay? But now you people, your paper is out of what? Is out of 60. You understand? Here you're doing 3 questions and each is carrying 20 marks. We shall see that. I just want to do for you some simple math. You see how risky it is so that you understand what I mean. So for example in math, for example in math 1, there were 5 branches. So if there are 5 and the total is 100, that means still the same thing, the average. So this is just average, but it wasn't the exact. but still the average was 20 per thing. So if at all you lose 20 marks this side, if at all you lose 20 marks this side, and then also this side you lose 20 marks, guess what? Losing 20 marks this side, a student used to come up with what? 80%. This student is still having a distinction, and actually distinction 1. You people, you also still have distinctions, though they are hidden. They are worked on without your know, and all they show you is an A, B, a C, and those things. But these things still exist. Are we together? They still exist, just so you know. But you tell me, what do you think is going to happen when this student loses 20 marks this side? You're going to get 40 over 60. Can you tell me what you get? What is 40 over 60 times 100? Check on it. I don't even think it's a 70. I know it's not a 70, but it is just almost a 70. Off by some 3 point some marks. You see that? That you're already in a credit. But in the old curriculum, someone loses 20 marks, it's okay, they are in 80. But then in the new curriculum, the moment you lose 20 marks, my dear, you're not even in a 70. You're not even in a distinction. You're having credit, something that is so risky. That's what I've been telling you. Okay? You're having 67 marks. Let me just round off to the next whole number, 67. You see that? My dear, this is a C3 or a C4. C3 or C4, not even a D2. C3 or C4. C3 or C4. That is it. Do you see what I mean? So you need to be very careful. This side, if a student loses 30 marks, they get 70. That is a D2. This side, when someone loses 30 marks, that is a 50. 50 is a credit 6. You get the point? So it is a bit serious. It's a bit serious. You come here in the old curriculum, you come and lose more 10 marks, you get a 70, which is a D2. You understand? But here, when you lose more 10 marks, that means you're getting 30 over 60. And 30 over 60 is a half. You get? In case you happen to come and lose more 10, here you lost more 10 and got a 70. Paper is out of 100. But here you lose more 10, it becomes 30 over 60, which is what? A 50%. You're now to a credit 6. Yeah. Because below 50, that is going to be regarded as failure. The new curriculum very soon. Very soon, though it may not be these years. So supposed to be very careful. So do you see how risky the curriculum is? Even if you perfect 2 items and then the other one you've not perfected, you're not even in a distinction. So you're starting to pray for a C. So you're supposed to be very careful because it is very easy to fail. And remember, scenarios are not some things that are so easy to deal with. So you're supposed to be super calculative. So that what you know, you know. No room for errors. What you don't know, what you don't know, you don't know. But what you know, you must be knowing. Okay? Now, without wasting time, I told you that I need people to be collecting for such things like facilitations. Okay, anyway, in case you have a concern and it really needs to be addressed before we proceed, I'll do that. But if it can wait, you should be putting it in the chat. And I need volunteers, more than 10, to be writing down. By the time I ask for them, and you believe that you have the best collection, you raise up your hand, you say them out, we address them, and then let that be. Okay? Now, very fast, we are going to now go through those papers. Now, new curriculum. So that has been old curriculum and some comparisons. But now, this is what brought us here. Someone may be there. But I thought we are going to just do scenarios. Now what is this? I thought we are just going to read questions and answer. It is me who will have answered, not you. For me, I just believe in training you because you're going to spend more time at school without even seeing me. So if I give you the best techniques, you can really reason out all discussions we'll have later on. And you will have to fix my strategies in them and then you make lines meet. Okay, so new curriculum. One, the paper is Principal Math. Okay, you write for me the paper code in the chat. Remember, you write that paper code as you're doing your name. Do I have anyone who knows the paper code? You write it in the chat. The things I usually tell students and teach them. Anyone who knows the paper code, write it in the chat. Someone is saying P450. That is wrong. That is quite absurd. P456. That is wrong. And that is Math Queen giving us 456. That is wrong. That is all level. P457. That is wrong. 546. That is wrong. 425. I think two people have tried and that is it. After they have very fast checked some nearby mock papers. But it is 425. Okay. So P for principal and then 425 is the special paper code. You should know. There are things I used to know. Even if you check your O level right now, I think even right now, I know all the paper codes. You can really check on this later and confirm. I remember geography was 273, but these are things I did years ago. History was 243, if I'm not mistaken. English, I think, was 112. Chemistry, O level, it was 4 for that. Physics of O level was this. Biology, no, I think I've forgotten. But this was chemistry. Physics was 535. Biology was, I think, this. Yeah, it was that. This was biology, this was physics, this was chemistry, and math was, I think, this. Yeah, I think commerce was 830. I think computer studies was 840. Yeah, I think those were the subjects. I used to know these things. Then A level, that one I'm so sure. 4 to 5 math, 5 to 5 chemistry, 510 physics, and 530 biology. I think 820 ICT, but it is subsidiary, and GP also has some 500. I don't know, but they are there. I'm not sure about GP, but it is 110. What is GP? 110, but it is also subsidiary. Make sure you know those codes, eh? Make sure you know those codes. IRA. I remember I did IRA. I did Islam. I did commerce. What else did I do? Literature. I did IRA, I did commerce, I did literature. Literature was, can't recall, but it was 500 something. But that doesn't make sense. Okay, principal math, new curriculum. So you're having paper 1, so don't call it pure math. No one has said that. Okay, call it paper 1, call the other one paper 2. So they are both theory papers for the principal math. Okay, and this is what we are going to begin with. All I want to look at, what do they set, how do they set it, what's the required time, and how shall we really manage time in an exam. What are those things we really need to concentrate on? What are those we can leave out meanwhile and then embark on them later on? Because there are those that can't wait, there are those that can wait. We are going to weigh everything and really come out with the best strategy for the subject, both papers. We leave this place when, yeah, principal math is just a tick. So we go paper 1. Paper 1. So paper 1, first things first, we are going to first begin with a paper structure. And then later on, other things will come in. Okay, now just to sample any candidate or any senior 5 who just believes that they know these things, you just tell us something you know about paper 1. Especially if you know, okay, how many sections? Let me see people in the chat. I really need to see people active. Let's utilize the chat for inquiry. Yeah, that's what we should be doing. I need you see people are saying 3 sections, people are saying 2 sections, 2 sections, 3 sections, 2 sections. Now what should I take? What should I take? I'm seeing 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, people have tried. People have tried. You see, in some of the cases, I really always want to see what people are saying, and so I get to know which kind of audience am I really dealing with, and get to know what we can do. So the path structure, basically, there are two sections, okay? So there are basically two of them. Yeah, there are two sections. That's what you should know. Two sections. But even before, okay, okay. I thought people are well versed with the paper structure, but some are not, unfortunately. Okay. Now, before we even look at the differences between the two papers, there is one thing that I really want to first take you through, and those are the general elements of construct. Yeah, the general one. General elements of construct. We are not going to go through the details of each, but I just want to handwrite them so that you really get the idea. We have the typed one, but people have really a problem when typed work is overexposed. People just take everything for granted. But at least when we speak as we write, people can pick something. So the general ones, the general elements of construct, they are now only and only what? Only and only five. Okay? And I'm going to help you break down for you what each really means. Okay, so that we save time today. Now, let me first pose a question, because I may be dealing with people who already know what they are doing. But for now, I'm going to first stop the candidates from responding. I want to test the senior fives who are on with us. I want the senior fives who are on to proceed and tell me the topics we have in coordinate geometry 2. Yeah, in coordinate geometry 2. Any senior five, tell us. Candidates don't tell us. Yes, I want to see senior five. Anyone to tell us what is in coordinate geometry 2? Any trials? You just write in the chat. Okay, whoever has called me, thank you for the call. I've been speaking certain things and I think people have not been listening well. But let me just, I think, just expose this. We talk about it and so that I don't over repeat myself. But I was telling you that basically they are five. That's what you should know. And I had given people a chance. I don't know what they have been writing. Someone is saying shortest distance. Anyway, I don't know why people are confused, but that is it. But let's try to behave and not write in the screen. We really have limited time here. Now, concerning coordinate geometry 2, it has just been a by the way, but we are going to see what is exactly in there. Okay, now what are those five that are shared or that are distributed between the two papers? That's why we are calling them general, okay? Because they are generally five for the principal math and then we distribute them in the papers. Now, basically, they are those ones, okay? The first element of construct is geometry. You don't need to really cram that this is the first, this is the second, this is the third. You don't really need to cram them that way. That's none of your business. Just understand their names or what constitutes a certain element of construct. Yeah, we have algebra, we have calculus, we have the data analysis and probability, we have the numerical methods, and we also have the dynamics. Okay? Okay? Yeah, basically that. Now, this is what we are going to have. So, someone may be like, but doctor, here we are counting six. Someone may be like, doctor, here we are counting six. But then you've told us there are five. Remember, I've told you that there are these two bodies that are different. We have NCDC, we have UNEB. Okay, so according to NCDC, there are only and only five elements of construct, and they have all the content you're supposed to study. But then, as UNEB is setting, there is somewhere it tries to deviate, and the sixth element of construct comes in. Someone may be like, which one is that, doctor? It is this one you're seeing of numerical methods. So this one was a bit tricky because in the beginning it had to be in paper 1, that is by NCDC. But you never had to change everything and put it in paper 2, and it was fair enough for the students. Someone may be like, but really, doctor, why were they putting it in paper 1? This is the reason. When you look at trapezium rule, it is numerical integration. So it was actually here in what? In calculus, because that's where we find what? Integration. Are you listening? When you look at iterative methods very well, there is what we call root location of f of x. There is what they call the NRM, Newton-Raphson method. These are things that involve differentiation. So it's like differentiation is being applied. So the argument of NCDC was to also have them here under calculus. Same to flowcharts. When you look at flowcharts very well, okay, for them they are a lot of practical, but of course they go hand in hand with the iterative methods. You get the point? So they were like, let them also just be there. So, but UNEB was like, no, let's shift them to paper 2 and have them as a compulsory different section. Okay, so when I say they are generally five, that's what NCDC had said, but the setting of enable is kind of different, but it's all the same thing. Just don't be like, oh, now what's this? But for you don't even have to call them elements of construct. Just understand this paper is like this. It has these sections, it has these parts. In this part, they said this. In this part, they said this. In this section, they said this, and it's compulsory. That's all you need as a student. Hope I've tried to rectify that. And in the beginning, the sections were 3. And I believe there are some students who know that because maybe they solely depend on NCDC. Because that's what it had said in the beginning. But then we are here to update you about what the examination body said. Okay? Now, under geometry, I already told you that in the old curriculum, it was only what? It was only coordinate geometry 1 and coordinate geometry 2. But then they had to add on these two, which were separate or independent earlier on, but they are now part. Trigonometry and then vectors. Are we together? And then algebra, it's these ones. Only 5, but they have a lot of divisions inside. Okay, we have the numerical concepts, equations and inequalities, permutations and combinations. We have series, we have complex numbers, All that is under algebra. Then calculus. We have partial fractions. Someone may be like, but why partial fractions? You realize there is what they call integration of partial fractions, and partial fractions are always just covered there. When you reach that, you teach them at once. So they were like, let's just push them this side. Hope that makes sense, eh? Then, but what you should know that calculus is always basically differentiation and integration, where differentiation is 1 and 2, and also integration is 1 and 2. Then there is last what they call differential equations. These ones are, it's where we have an application, a dual application of both differentiation and integration. They are applied in the same solution, so it's covered last. And this one really covered it so well from A to Z. Okay, there are things that we don't really need to try out. Now, I want you to follow well. There is another one that is a data analysis and probability. I told you that here we concentrate on descriptive statistics. Okay, we have the correlation and scatter diagrams. Okay, we have the probability theory. We have the random variables. Then I think this document is missing some other things that are so important that we may need, and that is the probability distributions, and then also the sampling distribution. So you will add them, but we have them in our syllabus book. I've said probability distributions, that is binomial and normal distribution, and then the sampling distribution, where we talk about the confidence interval. Because why would you talk about discrete and forget binomial distribution? Why would you teach continuous random variables and then don't teach normal distribution? You're just wasting time. And why would you teach normal distribution and don't teach the confidence intervals? Because they are just connecting and they are cheap things. Okay, then we have the numerical methods. We have the numerical integration, the trapezium rule, iterative methods. There are basically three. Are you listening? That is what? Linear interpolation and extrapolation. That is root location of f of x equal to 0. And then lastly, NRM. And then maybe somewhere we talk about further linear interpolation, which was also taught. And then lastly, it's flowcharts. Then we have the last one, which is mechanics or dynamics, where we have dynamics 1 and 2. These first three you're seeing, it is dynamics 1, okay? And the last three you're seeing, it is dynamics what? Dynamics 2. In dynamics 1, those are things you're seeing. We have the resultant and components of forces. We have the friction. We have the connected particles. Then lastly, we have the resultant velocity, relative motion, and projectile motion. Most of these things I've already actually taken you through all of them in the different sessions we've had, for especially those beginning topics, where we go an extra mile and talk about these other subtopics down. So I believe you have some good ideas. Okay, now someone may be like, okay, doctor, now we have realized, okay, NCDC gave us 5 elements of construct, but the setting of UNEB came out, it's like there are 6. It's like there are 6. And it is so easy. It is so easy. The way UNEB wanted to structure its papers, it really had to come out as 6 of them. Someone may be like, how? Someone may be like, how? So to begin with, I'm going to put this side paper 1, okay, and I'm going to, okay, let me just do this. I want you to see this so that you people really get what I mean. So I'm going to put here paper 1. Yeah, and I'm going to put here paper 2. So these papers have the same structure. I know the paper are yeah. So it's the same structure. So we have section A. Then we have section B, part 1. Okay. And yeah. So one thing that you really need to have section A is compulsory. Everyone knows that. And this section A will be having only one item. So you really have no choice. That is toxic. Section A, one item and it is compulsory. So it's a do or die. You either do it and pass it or die. Okay. Then this section B, have it in mind, it's having two items. Okay. Two items, you're supposed to choose one. Choose one as a must. Choose one as a must. Then we also have section B still, but part 2. I want you to listen well. Because now the planning has started. So we also have section B, but this time round it's part 2. It's part what? Part 2. Are we together? And then guess what? It is the same thing. Also two items. And then as a must, you're supposed to choose one. So you choose one as a what? As a must. Okay. So you realize that you will actually be coming out with a total of 3 items. That's what I was telling you. That realize you have in section A one compulsory. I want you to look at that. Both papers have the same structure. Section A, which is compulsory, and there is only one item. Section B has two parts, part 1 and part 2. Each part has 2 items, and as a master, you're supposed to choose one. Don't be like me, I did 2 items in one part. You will fail. You think you will fool examiners, but you'll be fooling yourself. And you may end up losing marks for both if you're not actually serious. Because there are some examiners that don't really entertain a misfiring, failure to understand instruction, so they just make you lose everything. Though it's not allowed, it is illegal, but it's annoying. Okay, now you realize that in total you're supposed to do 3 items. Okay, 3 items, and I told you that each item is 20 marks. That's what you should be knowing. Each item is what? 20 marks. So, when you look at the total number of items, I want us to count them together. This is one compulsory one in section A. These are 2 items in part 1 of section B. And also these are 2 items in part 2 of section B. So that means it's a total of 5 items, of course, in each. Okay? Total. So it's a total of 5 items. The moment you see item 6 in a math paper, that's a mistake. Total of 5 items, and we said that each is 20 what? Each is 20 marks, so they are awarded equally. So that means the student is expected to attempt 3. They will have explained, and of course 3 times 20, that is a 60. That's why I've always told you that your mark will always be out of what? A 60 for both papers of math. But now the question should be, what do they set? What do they set? That is the question, and that's what I'm going to really answer now. So for paper 1, what is compulsory? Remember, you've already looked at the elements of construct. They are there. Let me try to pinch the screen. You have a clear look at them. The construct and then the topics it's having. So I told you that for this data analysis and probability, there are some 2 topics that are not here, but let's add them. Tell me in the chat, how many math topics do we have? How many math topics do we have? Who knows how many math topics do we have? How many math topics do we have in total? I've already told you these things. Then we also have sampling distribution. Let me see if someone has said it. Someone has said 27. That is right. Someone has said 21. That's not right. There are 27 topics. That is good. Sampling distribution. That is good. That is good. Then biology. How many topics do we have? How many topics do we have in biology? You should, if at all you don't know the number of topics you're doing, then how do you plan? Biology, there are 9. Then in physics, how many do you have in physics? How many do you have in physics? 33. Yeah, that is good. How many do we have in chemistry? Yeah, you should be knowing the number of topics you're having so that you really plan well. How will you now distribute these things? Then in chemistry, people don't know chemistry. People hate chemistry, and it's the one that will cost in your combination. It is always coming through to disorganize your grades. So you're supposed to be very careful with chemistry. Give it the time it deserves. Because you see, you cannot even tell how many topics are there in chemistry. That is too bad. Even when you have the Google Drive, which tries to break down each and everything in line with topics. So you simply go to Senior 6 Term 3, check the last topic number. So chemistry, there are 13. Okay? Someone has said 18. They are just guessing. That is not good. Now let's try to, before we go any further, you're going to allow me to first give these topics numbers. As a student, you don't really need to know the numbers. Yeah, it is really too much work for you as a student. But me, during my prime as a student, I used to know that this topic is number this topic is number this. It is just numbers, and I told you the brain is always there ready to listen to everything. So according to me, coordinate geometry 1 is topic 3. Coordinate geometry 2 is topic 24. Hope I don't make any mistake. Trigonometry is topic 5. Vectors is topic 17. Numerical concepts, it is topic 1. In equations and inequalities, it is topic 2. Permutations and combinations, it is topic 12. Series, it is topic 13. Complex numbers, it is topic 25. Yeah. And then partial fractions, this is topic 4. Differentiation 1 is topic 10. Differentiation 2 is topic 18. Integration 1. Why I'm doing this, we should make sure the topics are 27 in total. The moment some topic is missing, you tell me which number, then we get to know everything. Integration 1 is topic 11. Integration 2 is topic 19. Differential equations, it is topic 26. Descriptive, it is topic 6. Correlations and these things, it is topic 7. Probability theory, it is topic 9. Random variables, it is topic 14. Probability distributions, it is topic 15. Sampling distribution is, I think, topic 22, because 21 is trapezium rule. And yeah, trapezium rule is 21. Iterative methods, it is topic 23. Flowcharts, it is topic, the last one, 27. I told you that these first three, they are topic 8, that is dynamics 1. And then these last three, the first three, topic 8, dynamics 1. Then these last ones, it is topic 20, dynamics 2. So those who are good at figures, is there any figure we have skipped? Have we really moved from 1 to 27 without missing anything? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I'm seeing 26. Are they 27 in total? Someone is saying dynamics 2 is 21. I don't think. I don't really think. Okay. 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 So that's it. 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 So they are 27. They are 27. So that means we have not forgotten any topic. So back to where we are supposed to be. I think I'm going to, let me carry this thing here. Okay, let me have it there. So in paper one, talking of paper one, what is that compulsory element of construct? It is geometry. So geometry is compulsory in paper one. Okay. And what is that compulsory one in paper two? They are the numerical methods. The iterative methods, the flowcharts, the trapezium rule. Okay. Numerical what? Numerical methods. In paper one, the compulsory one, geometry. In paper two, the compulsory one, numerical methods. We go to section B, part 1. What is in part 1 for paper 1? Remember, we are remaining with, so in paper 1, just to be fast, it is the algebra. And you people know what is inside algebra. Okay. And then, lastly, for paper 1, after algebra, we have the analysis or calculus. Let me use calculus. I think that's what people used to. But in case they tell you analysis, you should be also aware of that. Analysis. Then let's go back to paper 2. What is in part 1 for paper 2? Just have it in mind, mechanics is coming last. This is what I usually tell students. First, understand what is compulsory in each paper. Paper 1, geometry. Paper 2, numerical methods. Then understand what comes last in each paper. In paper 1, what comes last? Calculus. In paper 2, what comes last? Mechanics or dynamics. Okay. Someone can say mechanics. Someone can say dynamics, because dynamics are a form of mechanics. And of course, it is 1 and what? Dynamics 1 and 2. Yeah, that is it. Then you be like, what is remaining? I told you that they merged the statistics and probability and called it data analysis and probability in the new curricula. Data analysis and what? And probability. Now, you're supposed to be very careful, because now we are going to talk about the planning. Okay? Now, that is it. That is it. But before you even do the planning, you're supposed to first understand what are the contents of each. Because you people, it's not that, you see, there is a way people look at this algebra and think that algebra doesn't have content. But algebra is having a lot of work. It is one element of construct that you belittle, but you will understand why it is just called algebra. Because algebra is one of the most important things in mathematics. So many people belittle that thing, but it is serious. Let me try to show you what I mean. I want you people to look here. Are you seeing this algebra? There is a way it's having its own work, and the work is kind of too much. So these ones, we have indices, we have surds, we have logarithms. I want you to listen very well. When you come to these equations and inequalities, there are already two things, equations alone and inequalities alone. When you come to equations, we have the linear, we have the simultaneous, we have the quadratics, we have the polynomials. You get the point? Permutations and combinations, those are already two things. When you come to series, we have the AP, we have the GP, we have the proof by induction, we have binomial theorem. Then we have complex numbers. You get the point? That there is some good work to do. It's not just algebra, but you can really manage. Okay? It's not something bad. Then the other thing that really expands in the future, it is this coordinate geometry too. That it's having a lot of things. Okay? It's having the locus, it's having the circle, it's having the ellipse, it's having the parabola. I told you yesterday that you should really thank God that your curriculum really doesn't involve the rectangular hyperbola, because it used to give students hard time those days. Okay? Then the other big one is the calculus. You may look at calculus and think it is something small, my dear. It is something big. It is something big. When you look at only differentiation 1, it's having a lot of things. I mentioned them. The basic one, the product and quotient rule, the chain rule, implicit, explicit, parametric. It has the application, small changes, minimum and maximum, rates of change. There is this 2, differentiation 2, where we have the trigonometric functions, where we have the natural logarithmic functions, where we have the logarithmic functions, where we have the exponential functions, and where we also have a mixture of all those. You get the point? So things are a bit serious. And remember, in differentiation 1, we have curve sketching 1. Then in differentiation 2, we have curve sketching 2. We have integration 1, where we talk about its application, basically, where we have volumes of solids of resolution. something that is too sensitive. We have integration too that has over 15 methods, but I taught all that uncompleted. We have differential equations with so many cases. You understand? So you may look at them as you're like calculus only 4 things, but my dear, you need a full year to just cover calculus and make sure you've understood. Yes, I'm telling you facts. Integration is a topic you begin in senior 5 term 3 and finish when tomorrow is UNEB, because it really needs a lot of practice. So you gotta be serious about these things. Okay? So I'm just merely taking you through these topics. Okay? When you look at this data analysis and probability, it's also not something you can underlook. Okay? For statistics, it's okay. For correlation, it's okay. Scatter diagram, it's okay. Probability theory is okay. But when you look at something like random variables, my dear, it has the discrete, it has the continuous. Okay? All of them have the PDF, they have the CDF. PDF or PMF. Even this one. They have the normal one, they have the one that is cumulative. So it's supposed to be very serious. When you see probability distribution, there is binomial, there is normal distribution, there is uniform distribution. 3 topics hiding here. So don't just look at probability distributions and be like, that's one topic. My dear, it's not. It's not. There are 3. Binomial, uniform, and normal distribution. Random variables, don't think it's just 3 pages. There is discrete, there is continuous, and each of them has its own content. You get the point? Trapezium rule is occurs trapezium rule. Flowcharts, they occurs flowchart. But when you look at iterative methods, my dear, there are 4 of them. Linear interpolation and extrapolation, root location for f of x equal to 0, Newton-Raphson method, and then further linear interpolation. Very serious things. Okay? When you look again, we are still going. When you look at something like this topic 8, which is dynamics 1, components and resolution, this is kind of okay. But my dear, friction has a lot of cases. There is when we are going to be on somewhere rough, somewhere smooth. There is when we are going to be on horizontal ground. There is when we are going to have an inclined plane. And I taught all those things. And remember, there is Newton's laws of motion that have not been fixed here, but they are also part, because it is hard for you to apply friction without Newton's laws of motion. Because friction opposes motion, so we should have motion. And who governs motion? Laws of Newton, okay? So they are indirectly included. Then connected particles. Also a lot of cases that really need you to have understood the concept. Okay? When you look at dynamics 2 topic 20, resultant velocity is okay, and relative motion. Though even relative motion has a lot of cases which are very easy to attempt. Those ones are not hard, I will not scare you. But when you come to projectile motion, I remember telling you, you're supposed to first understand linear motion, then after understand motion under gravity, then after go to projectile motion. And all these things were what? Were covered. Get the point? So don't just look at these topics as merely the way they are. Have it in mind there are those that go an extra mile. Even those that I've not talked about, there are those I've just said that is that, that is that. But my dear, they are serious. When you look at now something like trigonometry, it's not just trigonometry, but you're supposed to solve, you're supposed to eliminate theta, you're supposed to prove. And remember, you're applying a lot of things. You're applying what? You're applying compound angles, you're applying half angles, you're applying T formula, you're applying ARA formula. You get all that. There are so many things you're supposed to do. You're applying expansion formula, you're applying factor formula. All those things that are supposed to be at your fingertips. When you look at vectors, a lot of things are getting applied. You're going to first look at a line. After looking at a line, you look at a plane. Then after, you look at the relationship between the two. As you're talking of a line, there are a lot of things you're going to look at. So have it in mind. This is not a one-day thing that you can really embark on and just become the good student in one day. It really takes time, and it will need a lot of energy. I'm telling you point blank. Don't be like, doctor didn't tell us. I've told you. I've told you. I've told you. Hey, thing is serious. But trigonometry we covered. Vectors we covered. Cone geometry 1 we covered. Cone geometry we are covering. That's why I really need people to use that morning time well, to plan and use that drive well, to take notes. So that even if we are revising scenarios, or even when teachers are revising scenarios, the techniques are making sense because you have the content. But there is this tendency of um, people being taught how to answer questions if they don't have the content, and then they start to think that maybe it is the answering technique that is hard, yet it's the content that they don't have. Because what is it about the answering technique? Totally nothing. It's the content that you will need. East or West home is the best. Whether evaluating, whether analyzing, content is key. You understand? Hey. So, be very good people. Someone may be like, but doctor, you've said a lot of things. You've mentioned a lot of things in those topics that we really need to master and get to know what I'm supposed to know under each. And that's why we are here today. Okay, I'm really going to give you the chance. You take screenshots of those things so that you slowly follow up as you're covering work. Yes, as you're covering work on the drive, try to do the needfully. Try to find out what do I need, what do I need in each, what do I need in each, things like that. I took my time, I sat down, I came up with a student-friendly syllabus book, trying to outline things in a way even student can understand. And I want you to go with those things, use them as you're covering work on the drive. Be like, if what is going to be the general plan? Yes, what is going to be the general plan as we are revising this holiday and the time to come? So one thing that I want us to first concentrate on, I want you to listen well. So for today, I told you I'm going to give you strategies, which strategies are going to guide our revision so that when it reaches exam time, you're really perfect. So realize we cannot run away from the compulsory items. That means we like it or not, we should be very okay with geometry, we should be very okay with numerical methods. So that's what we are going to really cover first. So first things first, it is the compulsory items. Here, just listen, I'm not going to write anything. You just need to make things make sense. Period. Nowadays, there is a statement that goes, a common say that goes, make it make sense. So whatever I'm going to say, make it make what? Sense. So we cannot run away from the compulsory items, that is one. But when you look at geometry, look at what geometry has. Geometry is having, if I'll take you back here, it has coordinate geometry 1 and 2, it has trigonometry, it has vectors. Remember, whatever we are saying, today is 17th of August. This is 17th August of 2026. I don't know when people will listen to this. So whatever, if at all you listen after a month, after 2 months, after a year, don't judge us. Maybe things changed. Okay? Because there is work that we have, but we have 90% of it. Then the work that we don't have as of 17th August of 2026, maybe we shall have it next month in September. Maybe we shall have the whole of it next year in 2027. Okay? So you just need to be following updated information. You cannot really judge off a video of 10 months and a year ago, things like that. Now, if at all we are to really master this geometry, so that we go through all mock papers and we are just making sure we are interpreting scenarios, we should make sure we are okay with vectors, we should make sure we are okay with trigonometry, we should make sure we are okay with coordinate geometry 1 and what? 1 and 2. Now, those of you who have access to the drive, I want to show you something here so that people have a look at what I mean. So that we leave this place when we have the perfect plan. So, geometry. So the first thing is, let's begin with trigonometry. Okay, let's begin with coordinate geometry because it is topic 3 and it is nearer. Term 1, do you see coordinate geometry? We have there a class. It is only lesson 1. And I told you the moment I call something lesson 1, that means there is lesson 2. So there are a few things we didn't cover about the line, but I may be forced to repeat. I lost that class, but we had it. But I may be forced to repeat coordinate geometry as a one shot. You get the point? And then in the future, people will find one shot coordinate geometry 1 because it is cheap. So we have it. though a few concepts are missing, a few of them, not too many. Okay, then the next one is trigonometry. You see, trigonometry, we have 6 classes. Actually, there are 7 classes. Hope people can see the drive. So trust me, 7 classes, they're enough for you to have 80%. We just need to cover our formula, I think, and solutions of a triangle, and we are done. And I can fix those ones within next week. So that before even August closes of 2026, that work is completely there. Trigonometry 100%. You see that? And then guess what? That is trigonometry. So trigonometry, coordinate geometry 1, we are okay. The next one is vectors, and it is senior 6 term 1, topic 17. You see it is there, vectors. It is 5 classes and vectors was completed 95%. You can see I talked about the introduction, the lines and the planes. You just need to sit down and cover these classes. Now, when you have the basic content, now we start attempting scenarios. I cannot use this session to do the first questions and then we come across planes and then people never watched lessons of planes. That means I'll be wasting time. People will end up calling me a bad teacher. Yet they are not using the content I recorded in these classes because I'll be using references from those classes because it is the same person. So if at all you want to attend my revision classes without attending what I said in class, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Because if you didn't get the points at first, then you should really revisit the content first, then revise. But if you believe you just need revision, you do yours, I do mine, we come up with the same answers. Maybe different flow, but of course mine will be neater. I know that is okay. Now, that is vectors. But then when we come to coordinate geometry 2, which is in senior 6 term 2, the last topic, we have to cover the locus, we have to cover the circle, we have to cover the parabola, and we are supposed to cover the ellipse. So those are things that we are going to concentrate on. You get? I decided to dedicate, I created those folders in 2025, you can see. But then I said that these classes will be covered in 2026 around the same time. Do you see? The date is August 14th, 2025. But then today is August 17th, 2026. I said in a period of 1 year, I will come and fill these folders for students. So we are going to do locus, we shall do the circle, we shall do the parabola. So that is next. So realize when we do those ones, we shall be somehow okay with the geometry element of construct. I don't know whether people are getting the plan. So the plan is to first deal with those that are compulsory. And the compulsory one in paper 1 is geometry. And we have realized, let me now remove these ones. Okay. We have realized that what we have so far, vectors, I've told you that one, sure thing 95. Trigonometry, sure thing 80%. So trigonometry, we are only missing our formula, we are only missing solutions of a triangle, which are very cheap. Vectors, the 5%, we just need revision. I cannot put 100% because there is nothing that is 100% perfect. Coordinate geometry 1, we are 70%. It's only a few things missing. Actually, it's basically revision that just needs to make the coordinate geometry 1 perfect. The other coordinate geometry 2, it is something that this coordinate geometry 2, it is something we are going to now cover. So when we cover it, that means this one will be covered. So those will be 20 marks. Yes, those will be 20 marks. Those will be 20 marks. Assured, I'll try my level best to create time and revise something. Yes, that is my goal. But I believe when I give you enough content for the candidates, even if we don't get enough time to revise everything, I believe at school you'll be in discussion groups, you'll be with teachers, and since you will have good enough content, things will make sense. I told you, get a friend that understands work, discuss with them those scenarios, they will make sense. Those who will be in this school, maybe once in a while on weekend, we may be revising something. I don't know whether that is okay. So realize for math paper 1, that is the plan that we have. Handling connect geometry 2, then revision starts. We go back. Now look at what? Look at paper 2. What is compulsory numerical methods? Now let's go back. What is in numerical methods? Do you see what is in numerical methods? Check here. I want you to be seeing everything. There is trapezium rule, there is iterative methods, there is flowcharts. And all these ones are compulsory. All these. I told you that trapezium rule is an application of integration. And then we finished NRM. The next thing we had to cover was flowcharts. One thing I'm going to concentrate on this holiday are those compulsory things. And then the rest shall come in late. But the compulsory ones, they really mean a lot to us. Are we together? So, numerical methods, we also need, so that you at least do the compulsory one. Because it is supposed to be done. But then the other ones, you can really judge because they are two, you're choosing one. So you read both of them and be like, which one can I at least get 50% of it? That out of the 20 marks, I can at least scope 10 of them. You have choice, but the compulsory ones, you don't have choice. So, trapezium rule is topic 21. So let's check and see, but we don't have it. But we are supposed to cover it when people have completed integration. So I'm also going to leave you with tasks of this session so that you leave when you know that what is coming next is serious. So trapezium rule, you can see it is empty. We don't have it. Why? It is an application of integration. So I will ask people to first cover integration, which is in term 1. Integration to topic 19. Are you seeing all these topics? They are 9. I don't know whether people have ever covered, but if at all you've not covered, maybe you're a senior 5 student and you're still struggling with differentiation, don't panic. Leave it for the Form 6s. Because Form 6 says it is a must, you should be done with integration because you did it in third term holiday of last year. So I don't expect you to not have completed this. I remember that period when internet got off during elections. I gave you all these classes and we didn't have internet, but you had access. So people came back when they are done after the internet shut down. So I believe candidates shall be ready for trapezium rule. So it will need knowledge of integration. Then when I come to iterative methods, which is term 2, iterative methods I covered. You see topic 23. Linear interpolation and extrapolation, the video is there. Root location for f of x, it is one shot, the video is there. And then Newton-Raphson method, the video is there. You get? So you have now the whole iterative methods. You see the good thing with one shot? One lesson and NRM is done. One lesson root location is done. One lesson linear interpolation and extrapolation done. So you cover them and have content. So that when I come and we are really going to be doing the revision, the revising, things are going to make sense. Okay? So, flowcharts we've not covered. Why? You're supposed to understand these things of Newton-Raphson. Because it was covered for candidates and it involves you to understand errors. I want you to listen well. You should be a person who understands errors. You should be a person who understands differentiation for you to cover those things. And when you're done with NRM, then I can teach flowcharts because they just connect. Oh my God, I forgot a certain topic. You people are very bad. You never told me that we missed out on topic 16. Did people tell me in the chat? I don't remember us talking about topic 16. And it is error analysis. That means you people are not focused. And I hate that. And I hate that so much. You people, we never listed topic 16. And you guys were just telling me, doctor, they are done. But they are not. We didn't talk about that. And I told you from here I'm counting 26. But people told me 27. The topic is error analysis and it falls here under numerical methods. People, you're bad and I hate it when I'm dealing with people who are not focused. Error analysis, so people call it errors. And it is also having some differentiation in it. That's why they wanted to put it under calculus or under differentiation in calculus. Okay? So error analysis is very key and it is also topic what? Topic 16. I want you to take that serious. I want you to take that what? So serious. Now, I've actually forgotten what I was talking about. What was I talking about before I connected to these things of errors? Yeah, I've recalled. So realize that for numerical methods, which is compulsory in paper 2, we also have we have a journey. We really have a journey. You get the point? Now, what are you really supposed to understand here? People have different, so those ones, it's really, so those compulsory ones, you cannot really communicate. Yeah, you cannot start suggesting that maybe me I'll do this. No, you can't. You can't. So this is the whole plan. For the things we have not covered, I want you to listen well. For the paper one, for the paper one, I think I've told you that we are supposed to come back and cover coordinate, geometry. This one we are going to just cover it, and when we are done, we just strictly go into revision. But I've told you when you have content, revision is supposed to make sense in the end. Even if we don't get enough time to revise, at least let's cover it. Because even in the covering, we are covering some questions. But trust me, the holiday will not end when we have not revised some scenarios, at least from each element of construct. Yeah, that I promise. For mathematics, I promise, but for biology, for physics, for chemistry, there are some topics that we need to first cover first. But for topics we have covered, at least we shall answer a scenario. Then we'll have to apply that knowledge in others, and then you leave the rest to God because we shall have tried our best. I'm talking to candidates. Senior fives, you have a full year, but candidates, that is the whole plan. But senior five, we still have time. Third term holiday, we shall be concluding A level. And then I'll be getting the senior four vacists and prepare them very well. And then we finish work before they report and they will just enjoy A level. Okay? So that's the whole plan. Now, paper one, for the compulsory item, just wait for me to start coordinate geometry 2 and wait for the revision. That is it. But then when I come to paper 2, this one is a bit sensitive. I want you to listen well. Paper 2 is a bit sensitive. Those of you who are waiting for me to cover trapezium rule, listen well. If at all you're like, Doctor, for me, I'm waiting for you to cover trapezium rule. I've told you that this one is called the numerical integration. Yeah, it is numerical integration. The trapezoidal rule. That's another name for trapezium rule. Trapezoidal. Okay? Trapezoidal rule. Make sure you know integration. Integration 1 and 2. Integration 1 and 2, you should be knowing them. If at all you don't know this, then it's really going to disturb you. So if you know integration 1, you know integration 2, then come for this class. So use the time before I teach it to master integration. Okay? There are those discussions that I talked about that will be happening in the morning. So you will the ones that are really monitored by Tutor Daniel, you will have to attend them and maybe by revising integration, and you can suggest and be like, I suggest to revise this. It may work. Okay? Those who are waiting for doctor to cover flowcharts, I want you to listen well. Those who are waiting for doctor to cover flowcharts, make sure you know NRM. Make sure you know root location. Yeah, make sure you know root location. And make sure you know NRM. And also make sure you know errors. And for you to really capture these things, you should be a good student of differentiation. Yes, differentiation 1, differentiation 2, they are not hard. They are very cheap things. So what does that really imply? That implies that for those students, especially the non-candidates who want to move with the candidates, but I've always given you access to this work, so don't complain. But if I may tell you the fact, this trapezium rule, I will divide it into 2 parts. I think I will not do one shot. Anyway, it will depend. But the trapezium rule, I'm just saying this and not writing it, so you take it. Even if you don't know integration, you come and attend. At least we'll understand the first part of trapezium rule, and then the other part requires integration. Okay, integration 1 will be enough for you to come and attend this. Let me try to simplify it for people. Even this differentiation, don't stress yourself to complete the whole of it, but at least understand the basics. Let me not overscare people who want to join us for this, but you'll give everything a try. Even this differentiation, make sure you know basics, because someone may be like, but doctor, I understood Okay. I think it was a network issue. Yeah, but we are back. So pray for our network so that it's very okay up to the end. But it is also good for people to breathe in and out a bit, then we proceed. So that's the plan I've been giving you so that you don't attend flowcharts, you feel like everything is hard. First review these things. If you believe you covered them and you need a review, yeah, you watch them at a speed of times 2 to save time, yeah? Yeah, watch them at a speed of times 2. So that if it is 10 hours, 5 hours, you're done. 5 hours, 2 hours, you're done. 4 hours, 2 hours, you're done. 3 hours, 1 hour, you're done. 1 hour, 30 minutes, you're done. Okay, so that's the plan for the compulsory ones. So someone may be like, now, doctor, what of these optional ones? What are we really going to do for them? I've told you math 1, just wait for me to do coordinate geometry, then we revise. Then for math 2, we are remaining with trapezium rule and flowcharts. Flowcharts, make sure you know those things I've told you. Trapezium rule, make sure you know what I've told you. And whatever I said, it should be at the back of your mind. Okay? Now, back. Now, section B. Remember, they are telling you, I want you to look here very well. They are giving you algebra, okay? And they are telling you that algebra, it's only only algebra. We are talking of paper 1. And they are giving you 2 items where you're supposed to choose one. Remember, algebra is something that can be mixed. Okay, they can decide to put 3 topics in only one item. So you're supposed to be very careful. So, let me expose again because I don't want to, excuse me, I don't want to overwrite. I want to overwrite, eh? That's why I had to bring this. So let me try to be a bit fast here so that we do the right thing. So look at our algebra there. I think that is the screen. So when you look at these numerical concepts, remember we are planning for the final paper and all standard papers that will come your way. So the numerical concepts they are talking of here, it is indices. I don't want you to confuse these numerical concepts and these numerical methods. You understand? The numerical methods are the other ones. Newton-Raphson method. Okay? Yeah, just be like where you have NRM Newton-Raphson method, they are the ones I call numerical methods. These indices, surds, and logarithms, they are the numerical concepts. Is that really hard to capture? I don't really think. Now, this is, you see someone is writing in the screen. I don't know what's wrong with some of you. We have indices, we have surds, we have logarithm. Are we together? Then equations and inequalities. There is something, okay, there is, anyway, I'll tell you that in the future. We don't need it now. So equations, I told you that you need the linear and simultaneous. Those ones are moved together. Of course, we are in A level. You cannot give the linear one such aura they are alone. Then we have the quadratics, and a lot is covered inside quadratics. Okay. And then we have the polynomials. Of course, even the polynomials inside, we have the remainder and factor theorem, things like that. So yeah, we have what? Polynomials. Then when you come to series, you have AP, okay. You have GP, okay. You have proof by induction. You see, I'm this one person who always wants to really fulfill my promises the way I tell them students. I want you to tell me in the chat, how many marks did I promise people before they go back to school? Yes, I always want to try my level best. That's why yesterday I told you that please always remind me. I usually make promises in my normal senses, so I believe I can really make it happen. But I need people to be reminding me. Out of 60 marks for the math papers, how many marks did I promise people? Someone is saying 70. That is not right. I said 40. Yeah, I said 40. I said 40. Someone is saying 20 scores. That one didn't listen to what I said. I said 40, which is okay. And it's what we are really working on right now. Okay, so I want someone who will text me and be like, Doctor, time is going and we have not covered this and the marks are not coming out. Because what if they set what we are leaving out, especially for the compulsory ones, we are supposed to be so serious about them. Then this side, we are going to have binomial theorem. Okay, that is all under series. So that is the whole picture. That is the whole picture of the algebra. So all you're seeing on the screen is what will have the two questions where you're supposed to pick only one. You don't know what they are really going to mix. You people, they can mix indices and AP. They can mix indices and AP. They can mix logarithms and polynomials. They can mix quadratics and maybe binomial theorem. They can mix linear and simultaneous equations with maybe GP. They can mix sets and mix it with proof by induction. Very well. So you can realize that you're not sure what they are really going to mix, because it is not wise for an item to have only one topic. It's really nice when it's a mixture, and that's what people always look at. That means you're supposed to be well conversant with everything. Okay, now let's check and see what we have and see what we need to cover. You realize that we're even coming up with the week 2 timetable together. That's why I'm also looking at putting some classes on a Sunday, since the holiday is 2 to 3 weeks, so that we use also that Sunday to cover some work. Yeah, because I normally don't trust my week, but at least I trust my weekend. So that we use that weekend also to do something and not to just relax. Maybe we shall relax after. Okay, but I need to cover some good work with you people, because you've chosen SSA, you've really loved it. So we are supposed to also do the needful and see that you really go back to school and you're like, yeah, my money worked. Okay, now let's see, what do we have? You're going to realize that the work we have on the drive, if you really give it time, because for years I've been getting compliments from students that the work is okay and it is understandable. So I believe even you guys that are coming after, it will be the same story. Okay, so you realize that by the time you give that work well and you're attempting, okay, you're having your content, you can now attend those revision sessions. You're in senior 5, but in senior, when you go back for third term, you attend those revision sessions of Form 6s. After all, you have the same uniform, though it's not so common, but actually I think it is the most common thing. Most schools share uniform, senior 5 and senior 6. You fix yourself there because you have your content. Check how they are doing the algebra items. Yeah, you only check in when they are doing section B part 1, because you know it's algebra and you know the whole of it. Check in and see what are they discussing, how are they doing things. No one can chase you from a senior 6 class unless you're dodging a senior 5 class that is on. Just be strategic. Okay, if you believe you have a lot of content, especially those students who be with me from their vacation, by this time you have a lot of content, then be friend Form 6s and discuss with them. Because now your fellow Form 5s are going to waste time. Because they are hypodatic, you are hypodatic. You get the point? Then after getting concepts from senior 6, and now come back and help your friends, because you're supposed to hold them and pass together. But come to them when you've also perfected, not coming to them to grow together. Come when you're going to grow them as you grow more. As they grow externally, you grow internally, academically. Hope those statements make sense. I'm speaking a lot of parables, but make it make sense. Okay? So indices, surds, and logarithms. Let me check. I think the people have been with me for some good time. There are things that you know that we have. Okay, I'm just trying to give our new friends a chance to have a look at some of this work. Term 1, numerical concepts. We have indices, 2 classes. We have logarithms, one class, full short. It's even on YouTube. Even indices, there is a class on YouTube. So don't be there and be like, Doctor, but for me, I can't afford premium. Some classes are on YouTube, though they may not be enough. So in the end, as you're looking for money for premium, you should not be lazy. Go to YouTube, check out on some things, okay? And then SADs we don't have. I don't know. I'm too lazy to cover SADs. Why? I have a feeling they are very cheap, but students make a lot of mistakes because of SADs. So SADs, I just need one lousy day when I'm very tired. We cover it. We do a lot of numbers and even revise indices within them. Okay, so SADs we've not covered as of 17th of August of 2026, but I'm saying we are covering them in a week's time. So whoever will be listening to this beyond a week from 17th August 2026, you'll be safe. Hope that makes sense. Now, let's go back and see. You're supposed to plan well. So, what do we have? I'm going to tick with purple. We have indices, we have logarithms, but we don't have surds yet. Let's go to equations. Linear and simultaneous quadratics, polynomials, then inequalities. I think here we are very safe. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling we are safe. And when we are safe, I'm sure. I'm just trying to act. Equations, you can see we have the simultaneous, part 1 and 2, and it was a very good job in both. We even have the echelon, the row reduction that almost killed us. Within them, we covered the linear. Of course, linear take us to the simultaneous. Quadratics, we have one shot, everything was covered in 7 hours. Inequalities, we also have one shot, everything was covered in about 3 hours. And then polynomials, we have there 2 classes. Though the people who attended those 2 classes of polynomials, you can bear me witness that we need to cover one thing, I think. I think I left out some research that people don't want to do, but we can find it in revision. It is not something that needs a video of concept overview, no. It is something that needs revision if at all you have the basics from those 2 classes. So guess what? In case they come out and they want to have one item of equations and inequalities and everything is actually put together, we can really crush it. Inequalities, we have one shot. Quadratics, one shot. Polynomials, 2 classes. These 2 covered. Do you see that? We are good. Permutations and combinations. I have a certain friend. He's a media influencer. He told me, Doctor, my friends told me that we cover permutation, but it was his problem. But he couldn't tell me that, Doctor, it is my problem, but it is not for my friends. And I didn't answer him. Why? I hate people who are not honest. Just tell me, Doctor, I have issues with permutations and combinations. I'm speaking for myself. Don't say, Doctor, people are telling me you cover. Why don't you cover for me if you know? Tell me, Doctor, that is my problem. Help me. So permutations and combinations, it is a topic I usually want to cover last. But for the case of my candidates, I may do something about it. Okay? It is something that needs a lot of revision because you can get the concept, but you cannot do anything. You see, it's a disturbing topic in that I always prefer candidates to learn it 2 weeks to UNEB so that they reach the paper when the content is fresh. Otherwise, it is something that has a very short lifespan in the brain. Okay? But we shall do something about it. Let's go to series. APGP, proof by induction, binomial theorem. It is topic 13. So when we come here and check, topic 13 is senior 5 at term 2. Let's come here in term 2, topic 13. Sorry, term 3. I've forgotten these things. Term 3. You see, AP we have there one shot. It is even on YouTube. GP we have it, but it's not on YouTube. Proof by induction, it is empty. We have not covered. And binomial theorem is empty. We have not covered. But that is over 17th August. Okay? And we are still covering work. So maybe those who will be listening to this in the future, you will be safe and you have the work. So realize, algebra, we are still bad loaf. What if they choose proof by induction and binomial? That means doctor will not have helped you. Because the ones of AP and GP taught and you understood, they have not been set. But it is hard to set proof by induction without AP and GP. So that means we also have a task of doing these ones. You see, we still have a long way to go. But then AP and GP, these ones are okay. Those ones we have. You see? Then complex numbers. Complex numbers, when you go and check, it is topic 26. And it is senior 6 term 3 work. So when you come here, senior 6, you go to term 3, you see topic 20, it is 25. There are 3 classes there. And I think we have not covered De Moivre's theorem. So complex numbers we've covered, but we are missing De Moivre's theorem, okay? So I'll tick it, but I'll put a half a tick. So you realize that algebra, okay, we try, but there are things we have not covered, though they are not many. The de Moivre's theorem is one shot. The SADS is one shot. Proof by induction is one shot. Binomial theorem is one shot. You want to tell me that those topics are bigger than quadratics that we did in one shot, or they are bigger than inequalities that we did in one shot, or they are bigger than logarithms we did in one shot? So that means those are about 4 classes. So I'm like, we need to use that Sunday in one or the other. So that if I have a class during day, class during night, maybe I can do SADs during day, then at night I do binomial. We just need to really be serious on weekends of this holiday, so that they try to compensate the laziness during the week. Okay? Because I give people a lot of time in the morning to concentrate on the drive to lock in and do something. Because someone may be like, Doctor, for you, you're concentrating on what you've not covered, but I don't even understand logarithms. I don't even understand inequalities. I don't even understand polynomials. I don't even understand GP and AP. I confuse them. That means for you have a lot to do. But if you delete TikTok from your phone and you really concentrate for this time and have a very good promotional report, or you pass your uni very well, I don't even expect a candidate to have TikTok. When I say delete TikTok, I'm talking to a senior 5. A senior 6 candidate, you should not have TikTok in your phone, if I may say. Okay, so that is it. So realize that even algebra, though we have not really covered enough, there is a way we can capture it. But now let me shock you calculus. Calculus, you're going to just clap for me because I've really tried my level best. I think it is done. I think calculus, we are just good. But let's confirm. So I don't know whether support assistant E2 is on the call. Is not here again. I don't know. I need some other serious support assistant who can be on this calls. Let me check and see if there is any student who ended with me last night for the call. I don't even need the support assistant. I need a normal student because I think I have more serious students than even support people. I think let me use a Gladys Gift. Gladys Gift, are you going to be because she's good at reminders? Are you going to be in this school for third term? And are you going to be available this holiday? Let me use Gladys Gift because I have her number saved in my phone. I thought I was just weak at the topic of permutations and combinations. That's not it, my dear. Things are serious. It may not even come and they bring those other ones. Gladys Gift, I need to know. Yes, I will. So you're responsible for all those things that have X's. Coordinate geometry 2, proof by induction, binomial theorem, be noting them down so that we come and cover those gaps. Instead of us going to cover a new topic, yet there is something in algebra, a full element of construct that we've not handled, let's come and handle it. Okay, so note those things down and make sure you update me. You be like, Doctor, what are we going to do this Sunday? We fix some of them on maybe the Sundays, and also some abrupt mornings. I'll see what we can do about that. Hope you understand. Yeah. Now, calculus. Remember, we are planning. For me, I believe we are in this together. So, if we plan well, even the revision will make sense in the end. Are we together? Yeah. Calculus. Now, someone may be like, but doctor, there are some things that we still need to know. You cannot just tell us polynomials, yet we don't know what is really inside polynomials. I told you that at the end, I'm going to make sure that I show you some of the things that are under those topics so that you leave this place when, you're good. So, partial fractions is just partial fractions. Let me use which kind of ink? Let me use blue ink. Partial fractions is just partial fractions. Now, differentiation 1, it has a lot of things, okay? Someone may be like, Doctor, you talked of things like basic, implicit, explicit, parametric, the applications, the minimum, maximum rates of change, small change. Then someone says, but doctor, those things are many. We cannot just capture them and you're speaking so fast. At least we need you to write them down or you show us those things. So differentiation 1 is topic 10 and you're going to see all what I've been speaking. For me, I've been in these things for years, so I cannot really blame a student. have been speaking them for years. So you can see there is the basic differentiation, it is topic 10, and then the application, okay? So someone may be there and be like, Doctor, a serious student has already taken a screenshot because this is a book I rarely expose. It was supposed to be focused. I don't know why some of my things are not in bold, but I'll see what to do for that. I think this is a different one, but it's okay, it's the same content. So, you're supposed to be knowing these things. If I told you there and you're like, what am I really supposed to know? Under differentiation 1 as a component of calculus, part 2 section B standard paper 1 of math. Okay? You'd be like, I should be knowing the derivation of gradient of a curve at a point from a gradient of a chord using small increments. I should be in position to deduce the gradient of the tangent at a point of a curve. I should be in position to deduce the basic rule of differentiation. If at all you don't know the meaning of the word deducing, you go to AI, ask it what is deduction, what is to deduce. Don't ask it what is to deduct. It is what is to deduce, or what is deduction, or what is deducing. Deducing is like you talk about something and conclude about something, nothing much. Okay? Can you differentiate functions? Can you identify equations of tangents and normal curves at different points? Those are the questions you should be asking yourself. Can you differentiate using product and quotient rule? Can you handle the composite functions? Can you use the chain rule, the power bracket rule? Do you know parametric functions? Can you differentiate implicit functions? Can you generate second derivatives? So do you really see that you people need my book, the one I organized myself for years, to really make sure it is student friendly enough so that you be ticking? For me, I believe if I maybe one day give you this book when I'm in good moods and you print it, so that in your free time you just tick. As a candidate, all candidates who get this book, I want you to just be crossing out what you know, you cross it out, what you know, you cross it out, what you know, you cross it out, so that by the time of UNEB you just go for it and look for where you've not crossed. Those things you've not crossed, they are the ones UNEB is going to set. That's how God communicates. You cancel what you know. The moment you leave out those you don't know, it's what UNEB will set. That's how God communicates. Then concerning the application, minimum, maximum, nature of turning point. This is curve sketching, small changes, okay? Kinematics, the rates of change. And then these weird things of significance. The ones you can use in those things of evaluation and everything. This is information you can get from AI, okay? But the concepts remain the concepts. So this is now the syllabus book that is having the student-friendly content outline for all topics and for all subjects, organized by me. It took me nights and nights. I remember when I was in Kampala, I used to, okay, let me not over disclose that, but that is it. Okay, now when I come and check the drive, differentiation is topic 10 and it is in it is term 2 of senior 5. You see, people may think it is a topic of senior 6. My dear, differentiation 1 is a topic of senior 5 term 2, and you've just concluded term 2 of 2026. So if at all you've not covered this, I don't know. That is quite absurd. So when we open it, it will also have the basic and application. So the way the student-friendly syllabus book moves is the way the drive moves. So the best students are the ones that have the syllabus book aside and their phone as they tick slowly as they manage their academics in one place and pass. Okay, so when we open it, you can see we have lesson 1 for introduction. We have chain rule and the power bracket rule. We have implicit, product, and quotient in one video. Then lastly, parametric. Haven't you seen those things? Then when we come here on application, we can see the minimum and maximum, the rates of change. So you realize we've not covered small changes and curve sketching. So that's where Gladys gift comes in to note that, doctor, you've not done curve sketching 1, you've not done small changes. Someone may be like, doctor, we also saw things of gradient. Why aren't you talking about them? We shall see those as we do the curve sketching. And we shall also have, they just need revision because it is all about coordinate geometry and then differentiation, a combination. So interpretation is more key than even the concept overview. Okay? So realize that there are only two things, one short, and we are done. Okay? Then when we come to integration, it's also under calculus. We have those two lessons for the basic. So with that one, we are good. We are just missing one key thing, how to apply that integration. How? Area under a curve, two volumes of solids of resolution. Someone may be like, where are you getting those ones, doctor? From our syllabus book that is student what? Friendly. You get the point. You can see the integration one. It is just here. That after having the basics and after you understanding the infinite, definite and indefinite integrals, you now come and ask yourself, can you apply integration to do the area under a curve? Can you determine the area enclosed between two functions? Can you determine displacement, velocity, and acceleration using integration? Can you determine the volume of a solid of revolution? Can you do the mean value of a function? But these are things we've not done. You understand? So, especially the application part. So, we need to be serious about this. I really didn't know we really have a lot of math to do. I think in the beginning I had an idea that if I told you you understand the basics of integration, these things won't give you a time even if you're covering them at school. And these are things I covered in the old curriculum. But I lost some videos. I still have some, though they are hard to retrieve, but I will be forced to repeat some, okay? So don't be surprised when you wake up one day and some of these videos have been posted, even this very night. You can wake up and there is a video on mean value because I remember these things of mean value and those things of displacement, velocity, and acceleration. That's why I've not been mentioning them. I remember covering them and I think that class is very near. So don't be surprised when it is uploaded after this. So some of this work I actually have, though some of it was too much of old curriculum. That's why I was forced to remove it from the new curriculum drive. But we shall see how we can help each other. Other than overweighting, the candidates can use those classes under my guidance. And then we can see how we can proceed. Okay? Now, that is integration 1 and 2. Is that really hard? When you go to the others of differentiation 2 and that is topic 18 and 19, do you see? They want differentiation of trig function. This one of those is even on YouTube. They want exponential and logarithmic. Okay, then they want Maclaurin is theory. I want you to listen well. Only those three subtopics and differentiation 2 is done. Only those three. Okay, then the other one is curve sketching too, but I just broadly said curve sketching needs to be covered and it's very cheap. We shall have to do something about it. I'm just getting worried that work is just accumulating, though we have a lot the other side of biology and physics. But we shall see. I'll always keep you advised. I'll always communicate in the channel in these 2 weeks because I think people have holidays of 2 to 3 weeks. So I'll make sure the communication is within. But also use this guidance the best way. So those things we don't talk about but they are paramount and may cost us, you really force yourself to master them as well. Okay? But I also try my level best to do the needful. I'm not good, I may not promise 100%, but I'll do my best. Okay? That's the assurance I can give. Now, when you go to the drive, actually after curve sketching too, don't be worried. There is nothing else apart from integration too. And this one, I assure you, this one was covered 100%. This one, I don't fear to 100%. I gave it time. I don't remember the year it was, but I gave it time and covered it because students wanted it so bad. And you would just be using those classes because we broke down things point by point, slowly by slowly. Okay? Slowly by slowly, point by point. Now, when you go to the drive, you're going to see that this differentiation 2, I've told you it is a topic of senior 6 term 1, differentiation 2. Do you see trig functions? We have there two classes. Exponential, we have there the class. Maclaurin, we have there the class. But curve sketching, we don't have it. Why? We are supposed to cover curve sketching 1 first before curve sketching 2. Are we together? So That one also we need it. Then when I go to integration 2, do you see there are 9 classes? 100%. That one I assure you. When you watch those ones, you're good. There is no question that will disturb you, because I used to leave a lot of assignments in those classes for those who have watched. Unless you decide not to do the assignments. But when you do them, my dear, you'll be so good at it. Okay? That one I can assure you. That one I can assure you make it. Okay? Then also partial fractions. Partial fractions are those ones, it is senior 5. Senior 5 term 1 work. Topic 4. Do you see topic 4 partial fractions, and it is a full lesson, one shot, and we are done. So when we are back here and try to check our elements of construct, we are dealing with calculus. Let me use maybe which ink can I use that is not going to confuse us? Okay, let me use black ink. Partial fractions, those ones are okay. We have there the full class. Integration 2, I've told you this one is a full class. Differential equations, let me take you back. It is the second last topic. That means it is in senior 6 term 3. So senior 6 term 3 work. Do you see it is the second last differential equations, 4 classes, and it is complete 100%. Where I don't feel like I didn't cover 100%, I cannot tell you. Where I feel like I didn't cover 100%, I cannot say 100%. So I only say 100% where I really covered it. So even this one, I'll put a tick. Follow me well. You have realized that for differentiation 2, it is only curve sketching 2 missing. So it's like we even covered the whole of it. Differentiation 1, it is only small changes, and curve sketching 1. So it's like we have also actually covered it. Integration 1, it is those applications whose lessons I covered some and we can retrieve. So realize that basically, if you have a very keen eyesight, we just need those things of application. But the content of calculus we covered. But then application of calculus, though we have some applications like rates of change, you've seen them, minimum and maximum, you've seen, but we just need to do curve sketching. We do small changes. We do those applications of integration, area under a curve. We do volumes of solids of revolution, and I think we shall be done. Okay, so basically it's application of calculus, but the content you have. So if you get my content well, even when some application is not covered at the right time, I believe you'll be good to go. But at least you see that each element of construct we are touching, we are at least stretching a 90% of it. That means we are not bad off. And if we lock in a month's time, we can push this to a 95, to a 96, or to a 97. I don't know whether we are together, people. Okay? Now, I think this side is where I may be having some better news. Yeah. Remember, for numerical method, these ones I got done. I briefed you already. Now, paper 2 section B part 1 is where we have data analysis and what? And probability. Yeah. You people, you will bear me witness. Correlation and scatter diagrams. That one we had one shot. It is topic 7. That is senior 5 term 2. It is the first topic in that term. Senior 5 term 2. First topic. Scatter diagrams, 1 video. Correlations, 1 video. That one we covered. Okay. When we go to probability theory, topic 9, we have there lesson 1. We just need only one lesson to cover Bayes theorem and some concepts in probability theorem that we didn't cover, and we shall be done. So probability theory, we just need only one class. Then the rest we covered. The rest you don't demand me anything. That one I can say 100% also. Let's go to senior 5 term 3. Random variables. Okay. Then we go to the discrete. Those 2 classes are enough. The only thing you need from me is revision. Don't be like, doctor, there is something you didn't cover. I doubt. It is not there. It is not there. It is not there. You know what's wrong with my facial nerve? You know what's wrong with my facial nerve? I'm feeling some pain. I don't know if I've overtalked. But anyway, proceed. Those 2 are enough, for discrete. Then for continuous, there are 5. They are enough. The only thing you demand is maybe revision. That I'm telling you point blank. Revision maybe, but you're good. Then when we move to probability distributions, binomial, 1 class. I think that class is enough for you. What you demand is revision. I don't remember leaving a lot of things in that class of binomial distribution. I remember I even gave you assignment. You see, in these classes, we always end and begin classes in a good way. In that, I give you lesson targets, and at the end, I give you the next stop. And we always take screenshots of assignments, and in most of the cases, you see the next topic. So for me, I believe I completed this. My mind does not really tell me that there is something I left out. I don't even know why I named it as lesson 1. Maybe we need to revise scenarios on it. Maybe. Then when we come to normal distribution, that one those 3 lessons are enough for you. The only things you need are the other ones of sampling distribution, the ones of a confidence interval. But you need to know these ones. You must have understood normal distribution for you to capture the sampling distribution very well. Okay? So, I'm also going to brief you again. Again, I'm going to brief you on that. Okay? So, let's first go back. Meanwhile, let's first go back to this. Remember, I've been briefing you that those of you are waiting for me to do the applications of calculus. Those of differentiation, make sure you understand differentiation. Those who are waiting for me to do applications of integration, make sure you understand integration. Those of you who are waiting for me to do the sampling distribution, make sure you know normal distribution well. Okay, these ones I've told you 100%, I'll put a tick. Random variables, I'll put a tick. Probability theory, I've told you only 1 class. Correlation, I'll put a tick. Scatter diagrams, I'll put a tick. Now, these descriptive statistics, they are like SADs. I've not covered those topics because to me they look so cheap. Yeah? So in most of the cases, when I put SADs on a timetable, I remove them and put something so serious. Every time I put descriptive statistics on the timetable, I ask myself, don't I have something else more serious than this that I can put? Then I find myself putting flowcharts. Someone who wrote in the screen, Alfonso, remove what you've put. You be organized. When I remove you, you say I have bad manners. You say I over quarrel. You say I'm rude, I'm what? But you just listen to what I'm saying and you shall be good. So you realize Gladys gift you not even other students. So we need descriptive statistics, which are very cheap. We need 1 class of probability theory. We need sampling distributions. For you to understand the last class of probability theory, make sure the one that is there is okay. Descriptive statistics, you don't need to be understanding anything. Sampling distribution, make sure you understand normal. For you to understand normal distribution, you should be understanding continuous. For you to understand binomial distribution, you should be understanding discrete. But people don't confuse discrete, continuous, binomial, and normal. There is there is uniform distribution, which is just 1 page. That one, I don't even need 1 shot. I just need 1 hour. 1 hour is even too much, but it can work since our classes are always too long. 2 hours, 3 hours, like that. But I believe 1 hour is enough for the uniform distribution. It's not hard. If you understand normal distribution, then understanding uniform is the cheapest thing ever. Okay? So realize that even this element of construct, we are somewhere. Yes, 90%. Trust me, we are good. We are good. That's what you should know. Okay? That's what you should know. Now, lastly, and I think this is what is going to conclude our session. I wanted to try my level best to end at 5, like 5:30. Yeah, but I think it is somehow beyond, and let's see, because I want people to rest a bit and then come for the night session. Now, this is what I'm really going to enjoy most. Because this one we have really tried our level best to move. We have really tried. We have really tried and we are still going to try more. Okay? So, the projectile motion and whatever concerns it, this one we covered. This one we covered. Okay? These ones we covered, we just need revision. You see that? We covered. These ones we have not covered. So we have covered 3 over what? 3 over 6. that means we are 50% there. If we are 50% there of an element of construct where two items are set and you're supposed to pick one, that means this 50% is giving us assurance that we have an item to at least attempt, even if we don't get the 20 marks, but at least get 10 over 20, which is not bad, other than leaving questions not answered. Okay, I want to do something that is shocking, and this is what I want to do. I want to just perfect the whole of this the way you're seeing it, because connected particles, I have a feeling they are coming. So I want to finish friction so fast and then connect to these connected particles, okay? So that people have projectile and then the candidates will only have one assignment of making sure they understand that thing of relative resultant velocity and relative motion. But in case God blesses us with the time, we may do it during third term, during the course of third term, because now it is too much. We cannot do everything, okay? But at least we shall now have covered 4 over 6, which is good, and we are safe because these things can really be put together, okay? So when we finish our friction well, we shall connect to this, and then we do this for some good time. And then as we revise these other ones, okay, that's what is in plan. Maybe at some point we need to turn these afternoon sessions into sessions of content so that we are on a safe side. Okay, so the videos I'm going to show you, they're the videos of resultant and component of a force, videos of friction, videos of projectile motion. I've told you these ones not yet, but this is our next stop. Once you see mechanics on the timetable, though this week we are concluding with Newton. If at all you have the timetable, you saw that. So we are going to try our level base. So you realize that even this one, yes, we are in 50s, but if we lock in for 3 weeks, we can even reach an 80. You understand? Yeah, we can hit a 70. Okay. If at all we do some revision. So we are not actually bad loaf. If at all you've really looked at that analysis, I don't really think we are bad loaf when it comes to mathematics. So we are going to do the same for chemistry, we are going to do the same for for biology, the same for physics. And see what we are really supposed to do. And see how best the planning can be done. Okay? Even with some work not covered, but at least to have a plan. So, to show you that work, for people to be confident that really the work is there, I've told you that, okay, that is a senior 5 term 2 work, dynamics 1. Do you see resultant and component of a force? You see, the video is there. Then friction and Newton's laws of motion, you see we have some classes and we are adding on. Then connected particles is empty, but it's going to be full anytime, okay? So those will be listening to this in the future, don't feel bad. Maybe you're listening at the right time when the work is present, because this is an old video. Do you mean we have not been progressing for the time you've not been watching, or for the time you've taken to watch this video? So senior 6 term to work again, dynamics 2 comes back, projectile 4 classes, understanding it from first principles, from linear motion to vertical to projectile. And then what we are really missing is relative motion. Okay, yeah, it's only that. We shall see the resultant velocity and those other things. Okay, so do you see? So that's the whole thing. So I believe we've had the perfect plan. Maybe right now I can try my level best to first hear from people before we sample some mock papers. We're going to first sample the sample papers that were sent to confirm that what we have really been saying is right. And then maybe we shall have what? And then maybe we shall close the session and then have a revision plan. So realize you guys need the content. We also need to cover some work first before we can embark on question interpretation. But maybe we can reserve a Sunday for doing that. And we get some long nights where some good work can be done, things like that. Okay, so I want to hear from you now before I may proceed. Do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns before we sample any sample papers and see what we can do? Good evening, doctor. If I share the elements of construct in the WhatsApp group, me, I have just studied today, so I need that book. For you, that book is the best. Good evening. My drive is not working. We shall work on those things after the class. Okay, so I'm also going to share these things after, though there are things that we have that need to be added, the error analysis. So you should just actually take this screenshot and then rewrite in your book. You actually just take that screenshot. I think it will really help so much. It will help so much. So I believe people have nothing to say. I think we should just proceed and then see what we can have next. Okay. So this is let me see, which paper is this? Very good. So this is a UNEB sample paper, okay? This is a UNEB sample paper. And you can see it is paper 1. Yes. Paper 1. You can see the hours UNEB put. Okay. That means UNEB really allowed you to use 1 hour per item. You see, you don't really have anything to complain about. And these are items you can do very fast, but we shall see. So you can see that these are things we have been talking about. Okay, maybe actually let me give the whole paper time. Yeah, you can see the paper code. So if it is paper 1, it is /1. Paper 2, it is /2. But the general paper code, it is P for principal, and then the code is 425. Okay, then it is Principal Mathematics. You know that it is paper 1, the year 2026, 3 hours. And the examination body is UNEB. And you can see how your certificate is called. Your certificate is called the UACE, the Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education. It only works here in Uganda. So work hard so that you get certificates like this. Okay, like the IGCSE, which is the International General Certificate of Secondary Education. Being international, you can do it. You can study in Kenya, continue from India, continue from Nigeria, go to the UK, go to America, but you cannot finish senior 1 and be like, I want to finish senior 2 from America. Because now who is going to take your PLE? No one, okay? Principal Math, paper 1, 3 hours. Instruction to candidates. So let's try to go through them and see. And then we are just going to do sampling. We are not going to read any scenario. I'm going to just be showing you keywords and I tell you the topic. And then you'll be like, you see what I told you? Something like that. So the paper is comprising of how many sections? 2 of them, A and B. And in total, it is 5 examination items. Didn't I tell you that? Section A has only 1 item and it's compulsory. Okay. In this paper, they will not tell you that it is from geometry. You just need to be knowing that as a student. Then section B, the parts are 2, that is 1 and 2. Each of them, it's having 2 optional items. I don't really support this word of optional items. Okay, it's okay, maybe it's right English, but it looks like you may not do both of them. But maybe like there are 2 items where you're supposed to choose only one, and choosing only one is a must, only one, okay? So you respond to only 2 items from section B in total, as you're choosing 1 item from each of the parts 1 and 2. Hope that is okay. Section B has 2 parts. Each part has 2 items. You choose only 1 from each part, making a total of 2 items in the whole section B. So that means in total you're responding to 3 items. Each item is carrying how many marks? 20. Okay, making the paper to be out of 60. So if at all you attempt any additional items, they will not be scored. Are we together? And you're supposed to begin each item on a fresh page to be neat and to make the marking so easy. You also see me when we are doing some revision. I always make sure that every time we are doing the next scenario, I move to the next page. So you're supposed to copy cut. Okay? All necessary working must be shown clearly, but we shall see that as we are revising. Graph paper will be provided once you need it. Okay? The silent and non-programmable scientific calculators and mathematical books with a list of formulae, you may use that. Okay? And you all know when we use those things because we have always used the calculator, we have always used logbooks in our classes. So you know that I need a logbook in normal distribution, I need a calculator when it comes to Newton-Raphson, and so many other things as we've been studying, okay? So we say that section A, this one compulsory item comes from geometry, and you can see the coordinates. So the coordinates communicate that it was coordinate geometry 1, okay? They may include some other things, yeah. So these other things are regarding recommendations, evaluations. We shall see them once the real big revision begins. As of now, we have been doing paper structure, the strategies and the plan we have, and the whole thing. And I believe you can also get opically from that. So realize, you people, your neighbor has not yet come up with the structure whereby maybe they say the two items in section B part 1 of paper 2 of data analysis and probability, one should be for data analysis and the other for probability. Maybe in dynamics. I don't know whether people are getting me. Let me pass on this disclaimer. I want you to look at this. I think we shall need this. I want you people to look at that screen very well. Do you see that? Do you see in paper 2 this dynamics 1 and 2? It is dynamics 1 and 2, and even the items from which you're choosing, there are 2 items. Someone can tell you that UNEB said one item is dynamics 1, the other is dynamics 2. But I don't want you to take it like that, because equations of motion are generally supposed to be in dynamics 1 according to the syllabus book, that is in Newton's laws of motion. But again, you have projectile motion in dynamics 2, but those two can be set together. So that rule is not yet there. The dynamics 1, because some of you may be like, for me, let me concentrate on dynamics 1 alone. At least one item is coming from that. No one said that. That has not been actually come out well as of now. It will only be confirmed after like UNEB setting this paper for like 5 years, so that some of us who are experts can look at those papers very well and come up with the trend. But as of now, it's not disclosed. You understand? Because someone may be like, if this thing is called data analysis and probability, and 2 items are supposed to come from that, that means one item is for data analysis, another one for probability. Who told you that? They can set 2 of them and they are for probability. Because probability is void. They can set 2 of them and both are for data analysis. One about scatter diagrams and correlations, the other one about descriptive statistics. They can set one about continuous, another one about binomial distribution. So don't allow anyone to really confuse you that way. For now, don't really take it on. If at all you take it on, it is trial and error. I've not heard it from anyone, and even the seniors I talk to. You see, they are always that's why at UNEB you can find the examiners, senior examiners, you find the assistant chief, you find the chief, you find the subject expert, you find the subject moderator. So there is always at least someone who is on top of you, like it or not. Because even if you're the president of the country, there could be maybe the president of the East African community. That one is ahead of you, like it or not. Okay? Because it's the community of East Africa, and just your country is part of East Africa. And there is maybe another, a community for the whole of Africa. Okay? And maybe there is the world president. You understand? And then eventually there is God. So there is always supposed to be someone above you. Get the point? So when I consult my seniors, no one has really committed themselves to say that. A paper can come with both probability and what? With only probability, with only dynamics too. So it's supposed to be very careful. Okay? Then also the same with math. Don't be like, since calculus is differentiation and integration, one is in differentiation, another one is integration. Who told you that? They can set both and their applications of diff. Algebra, there are so many topics. Those ones you cannot even tell. You just need to be knowing all of them, so that you just need to figure out things. So have it in mind when you decide that you're going to choose anything from any section. So it's like you're left with no option other than understanding the whole syllabus. That's what I see until further notice. Okay. And I just want to show you all this evidence as we sample those papers that we are set in mocks. And then you try to see what I'm trying to mean. Okay. So don't do those things of spotting. They are not nice. Okay. Now, I think I was still showing you the UNEB sample paper, eh? And I told you now, you look at this. It was coordinate geometry, but they left all others. They left vectors. So that means this paper you will not come across trig, you will not come across vectors, you will not come across coordinate geometry. Because coordinate geometry one has been chosen. Okay? Part 1, we are dealing with paper 1. Part 1, it is algebra. You see? When you see these things of fourth, third, second, first, probably those are maybe, it could be something like expansion or series, but you can see expansion. Do you see that? Yeah, they talked of expansion. So that is algebra. You all know that. I can just stop there. Then we go to the next one, item 3. You look at something like this. Do you see the things of log? When you see log now, do you see this? It is things of complex numbers. So when you see something like that, it can be complex numbers, it can be polynomials, I can see logarithms. So you can see they are mixing numerical concepts, they are mixing polynomials, things like that. You can also see something like this, which looks like given expression. So you can also think about some other things. I told you that today we are not doing any revision. We are just giving you paper structure, the strategy, and confirmation of everything. And you get the point? And then when we are back, the revision will be making sense. Part 2, that's where we have the calculus. You see? You're seeing here DLDT. Isn't that something that looks like differentiation? You see? Then when you go to the next thing, look here, the next item, where is it? Yeah, I had actually skipped it. It is very short. You see? There is something like 8%. Of course, that calls for application. You understand? The moment you see percentage, that's like an error. An error, I've actually gotten it right. Error in volume. The moment you see a percentage in these things of calculus, it is an error. And errors are in applications of differentiation. I even told you that when I was telling you about error analysis. So guess what? This was an application of differentiation. It was part. And then we are not reading the whole question, so we are not interpreting, but I'm just getting keywords to just show you what everything was all about. Okay, then this is also DLDT, which is something like differentiation. So you realize that both questions have the concept of differentiation. So there is nothing like one question is for diff, the other for integration. You just need to be knowing the whole calculus. Then you read through and see which one you can scope and get more marks from it. Are we together? That was a UNEB sample paper. Let's also sample paper 2. Let's sample paper 2. So these things are the same. What will change will be maybe the code. It will be /2. This will be a 2, but it is also 3 what? 3 hours. That means it is 1 hour per what? 1 hour per scenario. So where necessary, they are giving you the value of the acceleration due to gravity, 9.8. Hope you know our value that we use in physics. But for that, it is 9.8 for the mathematicians. We know that item 1 is supposed to be from numerical what? Numerical methods. And it is a compulsory and it is only 1. Okay? And when you see something like this, I don't know which numerical method you guys think about. Okay? But they are talking of things like approximate method, exact method. They are talking of things like minimum. When you see those things, just think about errors. Just think about errors. You get the point, eh? You see, they're even talking about the tolerance error. So, error analysis under numerical methods. I told you to include it. Okay? We are not interpreting anything, and that's not how they interpret questions. This is a disclaimer. Questions are interpreted from the word item 1 or item 2. You start reading. Questions are interpreted right from this instruction of attempting only 2 and choosing only 1 from each of the parts. That's where question interpretation begins, but we shall see that. So you can see this is statistics. Okay, so let's see what was brought here down. This is probability. Do you see? Probability was one, the other one was statistics. So don't be lied. You may be like, oh, that means one is probability, the other is. That's not the case, my dear. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Do you see that here they are talking of things like normally distributed? Isn't normal distribution probability? Isn't normal distribution probability? It is probability. They are talking of confidence interval. Do you see confidence interval? Isn't it in sampling distribution? Then in this other thing, do you see probability? So probability was in both. So there is nothing like if I capture my statistics, I have one item, sure, never. These people can decide to set two similar and they are mixed. Same concepts but different questions. So be careful when it comes to that. Don't be lied. Okay? But first we shall be doing the revision and see how best we can have it right. Then part 2 where we can get those things of dynamics. So there is nothing like dynamics 1 or dynamics 2 or what. That does not exist. So when you see something like these are connected particles, you can see that they are connected particles. But even when I see this, they are connected particles. This is a particle, this is a particle, and they are connected. So these are connected particles. Motion of connected particles should apply. Okay? This is a particle, this is a particle. That means they left out all the other things that you know. And the paper decided to concentrate on connected particles but set for you different things, but under the same concept. Different particle, they are connected. Okay? Different particle, they are connected by the pulley. Even this side, they are connected by a pulley. So where is the friction? The friction may be there, but remember it is a separate topic. But it can be there in that they are telling you the horizontal surface is what? Is rough. So maybe it later comes through because I can see even the coefficient. But where is the projectile motion? Where is the resultant velocity? Where is the relative motion? Nowhere to be seen. So you just need to know the whole dynamics. And then which the questions pick what you really think will really be the best for you. Okay? And at the point where I'm saying the most important things, people went off, people disappeared. I don't know why. I don't know why. But that is it. So we have actually even sampled the sample papers and you've realized. Now you assume I began with what I'm doing right now. Things won't make sense. You'll be like, connected particles, dynamics 1, what do you mean? But now you know. You have that thing in your mind trying to run and work on everything. So basically that is it. So this is Matigo paper 1. You see, you can see the coordinates. Actually, the UNEB sample paper is actually enough. You people are supposed to go and do these other things on your own. But paper 1, you see, the coordinates. So it was coordinate geometry. Do you see these people even included trigonometry in the same question? So that means this was the best. You see, that was nice. Then part 1 in section B, it should have algebra. You see, and the moment I see such things of imaginary, I think of complex numbers. So those are complex numbers. Okay, I can see this expression. Those are things of course, algebra. What should we say? Oh, these things. I see indices. Now, are you saying this one question? It is having indices. It is having this expression. It is having these things of complex numbers. So that means they tried their level best and mixed everything in just one place or in one question. Okay? I want you people to look at this item 3, which is in part 1, of section B, paper 1, where we expect algebra. I want you to look at it well and tell me the topics you're seeing here, because it is long enough. Oh my God. It is long enough. I don't know if even people will see it very well. But you first look at only that. And tell me the topics you're seeing. You just concentrate on those expressions. Don't overthink. Just look at this, look at this, look at this. Look at these values, look at these things. Yeah, just that. Look at this. You can just tell me only one thing you're seeing. Look at that. Nothing much, just to confirm whether what we talked about was actually right. Okay, I'm back. Someone was over calling me and I was asking myself who this person is, and the person is just disturbing me. I don't know what I asked last. We are not seeing the question paper. Polynomials and quadratic equations, complex numbers. Okay, at least, yeah, people have said it right. Yeah. Yeah, I can also see the complex numbers. I can see these things of power 3, polynomials. Not bad, eh? You can see they are also here. But this question must be serious. Yeah. Okay. Then part 2 where we have calculus, you can see dmdt. I will not go beyond that. Yeah, dmdt is enough. Even here we can see dmdt. And the question is done. And the paper is done just like that. This one is sec. Paper 2, I think I'm going to just end with this. Then these other papers, you're going to receive them in the groups, and then you just sample. After all, we have confirmed from UNEB that what we said is right, and I've told you how you can confirm it. Now you look at this. This was sec. This is paper 2, yes? So we expect the first compulsory item to be numerical concepts. And when you see something like this, these things are errors, eh? Yeah, so that is errors. Don't even overthink. Errors, nothing much. Errors, errors. They're even putting what? Trapezium. Isn't it part of numerical concepts? It is. So that is it. Not, not hard. Section B, part 1. We expect data analysis and probability. Don't you say that this is data analysis? Even if I don't go beyond that. And you can see that even when it is data analysis, I think somewhere they fixed in probability. Do you see? Confidence interval. It was put. Did they put anything like normally distributed? Yeah. Normally distributed. This is what I told you. And then what do they have here? Probability. And I remember when I was teaching you this topic, I taught you how you can tell that whether you're dealing with maybe a discrete, a continuous one, things like that. I don't want to go into those details, but if at all you paid maximum attention, you know that this is. If people tell me in the chat, is this continuous or discrete? What you're seeing on the screen, you tell me, is it continuous or discrete? Yeah, that probability density function you're seeing. Tell me in the chat, is it discrete or continuous? Doctor, we have not covered some of the chapters you were talking about. He has addressed that. He's covered most of that work. Most people are saying continuous. Why is it continuous? Why is it continuous? Why is it continuous? We are not discussing. We are really trying to confirm whether the mock bodies that try to set in some papers actually followed what UNEP said. Yeah, the limits can really help us communicate that you're dealing with a continuous, because you can see they're in range form. Yeah, I think Gladys is right. Then discrete, you will see cosines. Then which one is this? This one, I think it is the same mock body, sec, and this is paper one. So paper one, we expect geometry first, and you can see angles. Do you see angles? When you see angles, I don't know whether you know what that means. Yeah, when you see angles, you know. Okay. Uh-huh. You can see these equations. You can see equation of a line. I think this is a curve. That is all coordinate geometry. You can see vectors. Hey, this question is serious. This question is serious. It has vectors. Do you see? They can set a question that has everything. My dear, these are vectors. This is some sort of trigonometry. This is some sort of coordinate geometry. It has both a line and a curve. Very serious question. You see? That is item 1, compulsory. Then item 2, part 1. This is paper 1, so it's supposed to be algebra. And you can see this expression is algebraic because it has surds and indices. This one is also algebraic, it is logarithms. And this is an inequality. So all that is just algebra. So it is a perfect question. Okay, you can see these are series. The allowance increases by that first 12 months, allocated this. The things of series, which is also part of what? Algebra. You can see the first term is this. Very cheap questions. Very cheap. Then another one. This one is also supposed to be algebra. Okay. And what are they asking? You can see they are giving you these things of z power 3. You're seeing those things of z. The moment you see an equation, it's an equation that is algebra. But reading through can really give you the real picture. But at least you've confirmed it is that. Then part 2, it is calculus. You can see this is what? Integration. Don't you see? Even this is integration, which is calculus. And what next? You can see, yes, these ones, they are not yet the way they are. But are they telling you to do any sketching? Let's see. How can we really confirm? It's here. P is directly proportional to the number of that present. That means you see that those are DEs. So those of you attended DEs, you know, when we say directly proportional, you know that the moment you have the proportional sign, it will, the way things happen, but this is now the flag that we are dealing with DEs, and we should interpret the question appropriately. These things of rate of increase of the antelope, what? They are cheap, yeah? Now I think that is enough. You people can do the other testing. There are so many mock bodies. This is Sereta, this is Matigo, this is Umuta. I really love Umuta so much. And this is paper 2. I think let me also talk about it. This one is supposed to be numerical concepts. Do you see? Root location. They're even talking of the word iterative. Isn't that really so simple? They are talking of 5 sub-intervals, which is trapezium rule. You see? Then part 1 of section B, statistics. Isn't it under data analysis and probability? Then also this one. Do you see now? This one was all data analysis. They didn't have a real question on probability. So do you see how you master your probability but you don't even benefit? Yes, the probability is somewhere here, but it's not this real probability, because at one point it's having the statistics or data analysis. So they can find ways of really having these questions merged together, and you're supposed to think well and have the right responses, which we shall have with time. First understand paper structure, and the other thing shall come in later on, okay? Part 2, where we're supposed to find the mechanics or the dynamics. The first one, they are forces, that is dynamics 1. And then this other one, item 5, you can also see there is friction, there are also forces, which is still dynamics 1, but they added some sort of relative motion this side, because I can see position, I can see something like this. Let me see. It's not actually something much, but here they mixed. The first one, I don't think there was mixing, but I think there was also mixing, because I can see velocity, I can see distance, on top of these things of forces, I can see height, I can see coefficient of friction. These people are so good. I can see angles. So almost they got the whole dynamics 1 and 1, mixed them and came up with very nice questions. So you people, that is it. That is it. They can really do whatever they want. Let me hope this Wakata is paper 1. It is paper 2. Let me see if I can get Wakata paper 1. Let me sample this last one of paper 1 and we leave. Paper 1 math, it's supposed to be geometry. So you can see the coordinates, you can see the trigonometry. So we are safe. Okay. Then item 2, part 1, it's supposed to be algebra. And the moment you see logarithms, that is algebra. Even the next one is supposed to be algebra. And when you see this polynomial, I can see some complex numbers, algebra. The last ones, it's supposed to be calculus. When I see dx, dt, calculus. Okay. Even these last ones, when I see this, I may not say it is calculus, but I need to go through and see. Do you see the things? Wait, these mocks were setting the same questions. Why are the questions the same? Because I'm seeing the thing of wildlife researchers, rate of increase of this is directly proportionate. Like the questions are the same. I don't know why. Maybe the same people set the questions, but yeah, that is DE, which is also part of calculus. So these other ones of Citica, you can check on them and confirm. But I just believe we have really tried our level best and have a plan for all that. Okay? I'm seeing some misses in the chat. I don't know whether that Mrs. is aware that my daughter is on call. Someone just wants to bring issues. Okay, now, I don't know whether you people have any questions. Someone may be like, but doctor, now, why did we attend? For me, I attended to learn how questions are interpreted. Now, for you, you are ending the session and I've no. Are you sure what we have just discussed is not really worth it? And do your brain really tell you that doing scenarios is better than what we have just said? Because now you know the real direction to take in the remaining time, whether you're a candidate, whether you're a senior 5. Senior 5s, you have time. This session has been 50-50 senior 5, 50 senior 6s. But the senior 5s who have been moving with me since the vacation, you should also be the candidates. Yes, you should be ready for such standard papers. So you people now know the right direction to take. Even those things we've not covered, you can find ways of covering them if you can't wait. Okay, so that you just come in the revision. And I also just want us to have the perfect plan very soon. So our revision shall only be done if at all we have covered a certain element of construct to completion, because in the look of things, we're just remaining with simple things, then the revision kicks in. But I want us to look at that Sunday and see how we can fix some time for attempting scenarios here and there. We shouldn't just sit back and relax. We really need the time for scenarios on maybe a Sunday, as we use the weekend just to cover work and push. But take my advice and plan well. Have the plan of math with your friend. Ask yourselves, what should we do? Okay? I don't want to tell you to concentrate on only 2 parts, my dear. No, you're supposed to know everything. To be on the safe side, those strategies will come after like 5 years when some of you are already married. Okay? So, basically, I don't think there is any other question. When are we coming back? We are coming back at night for respiration. biology. Let's use Sunday also at evening time. We shall see what we can do about that. Yeah, but I believe you're going to go through those mock papers well and really come out with the best information. Okay? And also try to confirm whether whatever we have been discussing today is really worth it. So I'll keep those mock papers. We shall have to go through them again. Okay, so let me hear from Dr. Louis as I summarize.
Yes, doctor. Thank you for the good services.
So you're calling yourself doctor. When did you finish MBCHB?
It is okay. You claim big to achieve what you want.
Oh, motivational speaker.
Yes.
Okay, yes, please.
What if I would like to have a share on those papers in PDFs? Is it possible?
Yes, I'm going to share them after here. I'll give you the drive. I'll even post it in the WhatsApp channel where you can go and download it. I'll find time and compile them probably this very week. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, doctor.
Okay. Thank you for attending. So well, um I'm signing out. I'm signing out as Paul Tutor, as Dr. Paul, and I'm a tutor of science and math at Science Scholars Academy, Uganda. Yes, and reaching out at my verified phone contact of SSA 0753279592. That is it. That is it. So, oh, people have something to say. Yes, Chisache and Solomon.
Good evening, doctor.
Good evening.
Doctor, I was having an inquiry.
Mm.
You hadn't replied to my message that I had sent for you on WhatsApp about some suggestion.
Let me check. Good evening, doctor. You haven't replied to my message on WhatsApp. But how can I know that it is your message? Is it personal? If it is personal, call me now. If it is not personal, say it here.
It is personal. I'm going to call you.
Hey, but you man, you not easy. A personal concern, then you decide to come on the platform. You just are affirming maybe. But it's okay. Okay. So you people, until we meet again, I hope you've benefited. I just feel like people, I don't know whether you people have gotten let me go back to the session targets and see whether okay, we've not talked about time management, but I told you that it is 1 hour per scenario. So you can decide to do a scenario for 40 minutes or 50, then 10 minutes for perusing through. Choice of questions, we shall see that. Of course, it depends on the student. You're supposed to have the content, read through, and then get to know. But the choice will really come in as we do something. Someone will be like, Doctor, you cannot teach us choice yet. You've not taught us interpretation and question approach, but at least paper structure, how everything is done, and some information has been given. I don't know whether people feel like something else should be said before I leave. Yes, Moses. But Moses, you raise up your hand and put it down. What do you mean? Yes, Lynn, unmute and speak.
Good evening, Doctor.
Yes.
And thank you for the session. I have a concern, and the concern is about the presentation of the responses.
I can't hear you.
Huh?
I don't know. I can't hear the person. Maybe someone else can say it in the chat. I didn't hear them well. We are waiting for the link for the next session. Okay. Concerning the discussions of Form 6s, please talk to your coordinators and support assistants. That's their role. Okay. Now, those who are asking about other 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 classes, please follow the timetable. I also follow the timetable. Okay, so that is it. So people, concerning the paper structure, hope it's okay. Concerning that missing work, hope it's okay. Choice of questions, section A, we have nothing to do. Section B, part 1 and part 2, we have 2 items in each and you're supposed to choose one as a must. But you're supposed to read through both of them and look for that one with the easier English and what you feel like you can do something about it. But that will of course come after we have done some interpretation, and then the choice can come in. Time management, you have 3 hours, 1 hour per scenario. That means do it in 40, review in 20, do it in 30, review in 30, do it in 50, review in 10. Okay, the moment one scenario goes beyond 1 hour, maybe use 1 hour and 20 minutes for a scenario, that means you have 40 minutes for another. So time management is very key. Hope that has made sense. Okay, Doctor, some of us don't have timetables. Talk to the support assistants. Okay, so people, I think the rest of the things shall be addressed later on. I'm going to put an open question poll in the WhatsApp channel, and then you raise your concerns and I'll see how best we can handle them. Otherwise, biology students, doctors, we meet tonight. We meet tonight for respiration. I want you to hear things like pyruvate, things like lactate, things like acetyl-CoA, things like alpha-ketoglutarate, things like succinate, things like fumarate, things like oxaloacetate, things like what? What else is there? All those things, okay? The glycolytic pathway, so much. So we are going to enjoy those interconversions, and then tomorrow we shall begin premium and we shall move like that, then end the holiday, then go back to school and make SSA proud. Otherwise, bye-bye. Thank you for choosing SSA. We also love you too much.